an Odyssey sports station. Welcome into The Drive.
Kansas City!
And your home for Royals baseball.
Fastball hit high in the air, deep left field, way gone into the bleachers. A two-run homer for Bobby Witt Jr.
Watch The Drive by subscribing on our YouTube channel or listen on demand with the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
This show is always going to stand on principles. Dippin' Dots are incredible. Red Lobster is the best restaurant that America has to offer, and baked beans are trash.
You're listening to Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan. Here's C-Dot.
I want to tell you guys something to kick off the show today. Because one of the most amazing things happened to me yesterday, and I don't know if we can start the show in a different way. Yesterday, I told you guys that I was on the fence about going to the KU game. I had been looking and monitoring the ticket prices on StubHub all day. And I actually had dinner plans that I made because I wasn't going to go to the game. I was thinking to myself, you know what? Do I want to drive? Do I want to spend the money? Am I going to go out there? You know, all of those questions that you ask yourself. Well, a very kind woman, her name is Erica, messaged me on social media and said, hey, I have 2 tickets. If you want to go to the game, you just have to promise that you are going to go. I very quickly shot back. Of course, if you're going to be kind enough to give a stranger free tickets to the game, good tickets, 9th row tickets to the KU basketball game, of course I am going to go to the game. And let me tell you, in the midst of going to the game, one of the most incredible basketball games that I had ever seen had broken out.
Got to get it to somebody. Peterson.
Oh,
it's 3 foul shots for the tie. Robinson. And Kansas pulls it out.
I wasn't rooting for Kansas last night, but I also was not rooting against KU last night, and I was happy that they won at the end of the game. It was impossible to be in the building in that moment and find yourself rooting against the home team. That's as close as I've ever come to cheering for the Kansas Jayhawks because I was in such disbelief of what I was seeing. I was seeing a team crumble right before my very eyes. I told Rob there were about 3 or 4 WTF moments that TCU had done right there before me. And I went into this as a neutral observer. I wasn't cheering for TCU. I wasn't cheering against Kansas. I was there as somebody just enjoying basketball, enjoying life. Beautiful night, great tickets, great everything. And over the course of the game, I felt like I was the Soviet Union fans in Rocky IV. My heart started to change. I was not rooting for KU. I don't want that on my stripes. I was not rooting for them, but I was not rooting against them. And when they won the game and I saw the happiness of everybody around me, and I saw the happiness of the KU players and students, I also was happy. I felt like the Grinch at the end of the movie when his heart grew so big. My love for Kansas, it grew a little bit, not a lot. And I don't want anybody to hold it against me, but I got caught up in the rapture of love for a second. I had to start today's show telling you guys that story. Erica, thank you. You were so kind, so gracious to me. Didn't ask for anything. Just, hey, I want to make sure that you go to the game. And I did go to the game yesterday. I'm still excited about it. I was telling Speck about it. He's like, nobody wants that right now. Talk Chiefs. I can't talk about Chiefs. They were losers. I don't want to spend the next 4 hours talking about losers. Not when I had a chance to watch winners yesterday. My name is Carrington. Rob is here. We both were at the game yesterday. I'm probably more excited about the win than Rob has. Rob, like it's old hat. I mean, I've seen that before. I ain't never seen a team do nothing like that before. Not in person. The only comparison I have for what I saw was game 1 of the World Series in 2015 and the Patrick Mahomes comeback against the Houston Texans. That's as crazy as I've seen in person. Now, I'm not obviously putting this regular season game on the same level as that. Please don't misconstrue what I'm saying. I'm just saying for what I was in the building for what I saw, for the wave of emotion, as I watched KU down 15 at Allen Fieldhouse with 5 minutes to go, down 9 with 30 seconds. I'd never seen anything like that before, them winning that basketball game. Darren Peterson coming off the bench like a Willis Reed, calmly knocking down these free throws. I'd never seen anything like it before. I wasn't waving the wheat. I wasn't doing I wasn't doing any of that. I was just sitting there as a sports fan, and I left there like, man, you know what? I get it. I get why you guys cheer for them. It must be fun to be a fan of this team. I don't leave Mizzou Arena with those feelings. Not very often. You're listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan. I won't go through the whole spiel other than to tell you guys to stop by and see our good friends over at the other place, because it's very important that I tell you that to kick off the show. This is where I would like to begin the show. Travis Kelce was on his podcast. He was on the New Heights podcast. I'm sure by now you've heard it, but I don't care. I'm going to play it for you anyway. Here's what he had to say about his future in the National Football League.
Trav, you want to tell us all of your personal endeavors?
Yeah, every season ends for me. I put my feet up and I just be a human.
Yeah.
Just being a regular human for a couple weeks, maybe a month or so, and trying to figure out what I'm going to do next in terms of my future in football. You know, I've talked to a few people in the facility already, you know, having the exit meetings and everything, and they know where I stand, at least right now. And there's a lot of love for the game that's still there, and I don't think I'll ever lose that. It's a tough thing to navigate, but at the same time, if my body can heal up and rest up, and I can feel confident that I can go out there and give it another 18, 20, 21 week run, I think I would do it in a heartbeat. So I think right now it's just finding that answer and seeing how the body feels after this game and kind of when it all settles down.
I'm confused. So you're not already coming back? Chris Jones has said that you're coming back. I thought this was already...
Nice. That's why we love Chris. He's very optimistic.
I'm not trying to compare my life to Travis Kelce's life. I don't want you guys to take it that way. But I've kind of made a deal with myself. If I don't love this job the same way that I did when I first started, then it's time for me to go. And it's time for somebody else to have 2 to 6 in the afternoons. And at the beginning of, every year, the end of the year, you got to ask yourself, hey, am I happy? Do I still want to do this? Do I still have the same fire and passion? Like, if you've been doing any one thing for a long time, I think these are conversations that are very healthy to have with yourself, and if you want to continue doing that. So I understand that my job is very different than his. There are very different health risks associated with it. I understand all of that. So you don't even got to text in. I get it. But what my advice to Travis would be, if you love it the same and still feel from a physical standpoint that you can do it, I would advise you to come back. I'd advise you to come back. Man, the window to get a chance to do what he is doing is such a small window in your life. And you will have every opportunity, if you were Travis Kelce, to go do all of the other things. You being the host of a game show is not going anywhere. You going to work at Fox's pregame show for the noon game is not going anywhere, or ESPN or NFL Network or hosting a podcast. These things are not going away. Your ability to play in the National Football League and do the thing that you dreamed about doing and being able to do it at a high level, being able to celebrate that success with the people that you love, the people that care about you, that you care about them, the ability to do it for a company that you clearly love and respect, and they feel that same way about you. Man, you don't get 40 years of doing that. You can do my job for 40 years. You can be on television, or you can do a lot of jobs for 40 years. Man, you don't get the ability to play in the National Football League for 40 years. The fact that you've gotten as much time in the league as you have is a blessing. Man, if you still feel like you got a little bit more football left and you still got the passion for it and you still wake up and want to train and do all the other things. Rob, you and I always talk about, man, the 2 to 6 is the easy part. It's the 11 to 2 that's the work. It's the tracking down interviews. It's the thinking about, that's the work part of it. If you don't want to do that part of it, then you don't deserve to do the 2 to 6 part. If you're not willing to still dedicate your summers and your spring and put this thing first in playing football, then your heart's not in it anymore and you need to get out of it and you need to do something else. So the question I would ask Travis Kelce is he is going to take some time off over the course of however long. If you can't dedicate your free time to it in the same way, then it's time for you to do something else. But if you still got that same passion, that same fire, you still want to get up at 5 a.m. to train, you still want to eat the same, you still want to do all the things from a physical perspective that you need to do to play in the National Football League at the highest level, I think you owe it to yourself to continue to do it. Because when it's over, it's over. I don't think Travis Kelce is one day just popping back up as an NFL player. You're not taking 2 years off and then coming back at 39 years old like, hey, I think I can help. No. The moment you turn in those retirement papers and the Chiefs find your replacement, it's over. So take all the time you need. Think about what you want to do, and you got to have a true, honest conversation about yourself, about are you willing to dedicate the next year of your life to doing this thing again. It ain't just playing in the football games. That's the easy part. Showing up, catching some passes, scoring touchdowns, having 80,000 people scream when you do something, that's the easy part. But that is the result of the hard work that you put in. What's that saying? How you eat and how you lift weights in the summer or in the winter, that gives you that summer body when you go to the pool. The work that you put in now to be ready to play in the NFL, it manifests itself throughout the season. That's how you have the career year. That's how you get the big contracts. That's how you go to Pro Bowls and go to the All-Pro, the work that you put in. So that would be my advice to Travis Kelce. That would be my advice to anybody that's been doing one thing for a long time. Do you love it? Are you still willing to give the same amount of time to it and work and effort? And if you are, then I think you owe it to yourself to come back. Coming up on the other side, let's talk about the top story in the league. It continues to be the Ravens do not have a head coach. John Harbaugh is no longer the head coach of the Baltimore Ravens. He has options. The Ravens have some options. We'll talk about them. Keep it right here. So Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on Kansas City's only FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
I wish I'd gotten treated for my erectile dysfunction sooner. Men, I hear this all the time from our patients. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if ED is a problem in your life, resolve to get it treated today and stop having it affect you and the one you love. ED is simply a medical condition, and it's fully treatable. And at Heartland Men's Health, we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. Which means if you're like most guys, your ED will be a thing of the past. In fact, you could be having great sex within a day or two of your first appointment, and you'll likely find you're performing like you haven't in a long time. It's the new year. Resolve to get your ED treated and change your life. Call us at Heartland Men's Health. Your initial visit is only $99. It includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
Ready for action, hockey fans? Dusty Likens here. BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, is giving players another reason to lace up and hit the ice this season. BetMGM is adding extra excitement to the goals, the checks, the faceoffs, and those breakaways with special promotions, new features, and more. Log in throughout the season to find odds boost tokens, no sweat tokens, and parlay boost tokens in your account to amplify your winnings. Enjoy enhanced product features like dark mode as well. We have lots in store between now and when the new champions are crowned. So log into BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, all throughout the hockey season to see what's new. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 and older only. Missouri only. Existing customer offers subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary and expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly.
And we're out. Back in 60. Hey, what are you eating?
Chimichurri filet mignon. It's a Factor meal.
Oh, nice. Wait, they let you eat like that in the pros?
Oh, they insist on it. A pro's work starts on the plate.
Oh, man, that does look good. Let me have a taste?
Get your own.
All right. Where do I find this? Is it factormeals.com?
Yep, and they've got a deal going on.
Oh, love a deal. I am so in.
Smart move. Pro move.
All right. Factor. Eat like a pro.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Did you hear? Allstate car insurance now costs even less. So when you bundle with home, you can save even more. Check Allstate first to bundle and save with a new lower auto rate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings may vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
What if your instincts could pay off? With Robinhood Prediction Markets, you could put your knowledge to work on the events that matter to you. Prediction Markets isn't just sports. It's the Fed rate decision, your favorite award show, and so much more beyond the playing field. Trade events with Robinhood. Visit Robinhood.com/predict. That's Robinhood.com/predict. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
What's good, y'all? It's Von Miller, Super Bowl MVP, SAG Master, and now your host of Free Range. This is where NFL meets real talk. Every week, I'm bringing you inside the game, from locker room stories to league-wide headlines. You want football IQ, locker room insight, and real conversations with the people shaping the league? Welcome to Free Range with Von Miller, where nothing is off limits and every down counts. New episodes every Wednesday. Listen and follow Free Range with me, Von Miller, wherever you get your podcast.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this. This is 96.5 The Fan, your home for Chiefs football.
Someone on the text line asked, Carrington, do you think you're a fair weather fan? Absolutely. Proudly. I'm a proud fair weather fan. This is an entertainment product. That's what it is. And when you don't show me the measure of entertainment that I need, I'm bouncing. I'm out of there. I'm absolutely a bandwagon fan. Now, I wouldn't consider myself to be a bandwagon jumper. To me, that's a little bit different. Being a bandwagon fan and fair weather fans, to me, are a little bit different. I'm not here telling you, oh, I cheer for Ohio State and I cheer for Ole Miss, and that's a bandwagon fan. I don't have any emotional connection. I'm just hopping on the wave because it's hot, because they're hot, because they're winning. Like, we all know a fan like that. Bro, why are you wearing a Tom Brady Tampa Bay Bucks jersey? You're not a Bucks fan. Oh, man, no. That's a bandwagon fan. Oh, I'm absolutely fair weather. Yeah, for sure. Proudly. A lot of you are fair weather fans, too. Oh, how can you say that? Have you seen the Royals' attendance? I mean, we can go off when the Royals are hot and when they're not hot. People respond accordingly. Oh, yeah, my loyalty and my energy and my time and my devotion to my favorite teams is absolutely conditional. If you do what you're supposed to do, I'll do what I'm supposed to do. I'll show up. I'll support. I'll watch. I'll pay money. But if you're selling us nonsense, I'm not buying it. We need more people to proudly acknowledge that they are bandwagon supporters, that they are fair weather supporters. I'm a proud fair weather fan. Rob, you're not. You sat through some bad KU football years. I would have never done that. I would have never done that. You sat through the Charlie Weiss years, the David Beatty years. Not at all. Why did you do that? What did you get for it? Somebody said, how am I not surprised? Some of you are diehard Chiefs fans. They just moved on you. What have you gotten for your loyalty? They took all your years of hard work and just sold you out to the highest bidder. You don't get any. There ain't no awards for this. There's no trophy. What do they give you at the end? You know when you work at a company and you've been working there for like 15, 20 years, you know they give you something. Like, oh, hey, here's an extra fill in the blank for your service. What do you get for 30 years of cheering for a certain team? You don't get no awards for that. They keep raising your season ticket prices. They keep raising parking. No, there ain't no loyalty to this. More people of you should be fair weather fans, proud fair weather fans. I'm a die-hard fan. Then you're a fool. That's what you are. You're a fool. You keep going to the same restaurant that's got bad food. Oh, man, I love this place. Why? Go down the street. They got much better steaks at better prices. The ambiance is better, and the waitress is cute. Why do you keep going to this place? We need more proud, fair weather sports fans and people that embrace it. That's what I think. That's my hot take for the day, Rob.
Yeah, man, you're alone in that one.
It's okay. I'm proud to be alone.
You can be very alone. Listen,
think about Rob. All the loyalty that you've shown Kansas football, what do you have to show for it the last 20 years? You got nothing to show for it.
I got a new stadium
that you helped pay for.
I also have a new Chiefs stadium that I'm going to help pay for.
That's a fair point.
I'm paying for a lot of stadiums.
For sure. That's certain. You have definitely done that.
I'm going to reach out to Clark Hunt. Instead of the new Chiefs Stadium being whatever he's going to call it, I want it to be the Rob Brenton Stadium like David Booth Stadium. I'm paying for both.
I want to play this audio for you guys. This audio is Ian Rappaport, and he is talking about the kind of coach they're looking for their star quarterback, Lamar Jackson. Here's Ian Rappaport.
It did seem like a lot of the focus here was to find someone to reach Lamar, to invigorate Lamar, to find him, right? I mean, that's sort of what we're talking about here. I'm not saying that it was like they chose a coach over the quarterback, or they chose a quarterback over the coach. It's not like that. It's just which coach can come in and get the absolute most out of the two-time MVP that just had a weird year and a year where a lot of people in the building were wondering, like, is Lamar okay? What's wrong with him? How can we get to him? The goal for the new leader of the organization is find someone who can get the absolute most of their superstar talented quarterback.
I feel like there is a question that we are not asking with Lamar that now the more and more I think about this thing, there are so many comparisons between he and Cam Newton. Now, you guys remember, I don't know when this was, a decade ago, however long it was. I think Cam Newton used to be a powder. I mean, he might still be a powder, but Cam Newton was a powder. A call wouldn't go his way, a block wouldn't happen, a drop wouldn't happen, something negative would happen. And you could just sense the energy from Cam that he would just sit there and just pout. I don't know if your team, like the leader of your team, I don't know if your leader can have that personality. You guys know I'm a big believer that teams take on the personality of their best player. If your best player is a complainer, you know what everybody else does? They complain. If your best player is a powder, I think that energy just permeates throughout the rest of the group. I wonder if Lamar has the personality to lead you to where you want to go. You can obviously win a lot of regular season games with Lamar. We've seen that before. But if there's one thing that we know is that on the road to a championship, man, there's going to be some highs and lows. You're going to have a questionable holding call that now takes a big play off the board, and you thought you had a first down, but now it's 2nd and 17, and you really got to dig deep, and you got to figure it out. You can't win a championship without being able to overcome those situations. Rob, they need a coach that can help reach Lamar Jackson. They need a coach that can help. Where is he? His cap hit for next year is $75 million. That's the number one characteristic that you need for your franchise future Hall of Fame quarterback is you need somebody who can reach him, and you feel like John Harbaugh, who has won a championship, has been as solid, as sturdy as a head coach in the National Football League, he lost the ability to reach their franchise quarterback? Some of this just sounds more and more like a personality thing to me with Lamar. I really go back to that story we read a couple of weeks ago in the Baltimore Sun. Remember that story said that Lamar likes playing video games, and sometimes he likes doing that more than his schoolwork? How sometimes Lamar is a little late to a meeting, how there was a feeling in the Ravens office that there was a different set of rules for Lamar than it was for everybody else. I just don't know if you can lead that way. Sure, I think everybody on the Chiefs knows the importance of Patrick Mahomes, but Pat always comes off like one of the guys. Hey, I'm going to get you guys extravagant gifts for Christmas. I want you guys to know that I'm here for you, that I'm one of the guys, that even though I'm off doing all of these things, once I step in this locker room, I'm one of 53. And we are all the same. We are all equal. And I got to show the same love to Travis Kelce that I would to James Winchester. In my opinion, that's what being a leader is. That's what I think Tom is so good at. If you see how players gravitate towards Peyton Manning, I think you see a lot of that same ability with Peyton. I don't know if Lamar has that ability. And it's not a physical thing. He's one of the greatest quarterbacks that we've ever seen. If you were telling me that their priority is you got to find a coach that you think is uniquely qualified to talk to Lamar Jackson, well, you're starting to identify some of the problems that the Ravens have.
I'm not here to dispute the reporting of Ian Rappaport. I'm sure it's correct. But it does sound a lot like the reporting is coming straight from either Lamar's camp or the Ravens camp and not John Harbaugh's. He said in that cut, it's 38 seconds, he says it, this is not a situation where the team picked the quarterback over the coach. Except for they did. They 100% did. There's, to your point, the Baltimore Sun report last week, he likes playing video games, he sometimes isn't locked in, and they moved on from the coach, and now they are searching for a new coach that can, quote, invigorate the quarterback. 100% they picked the quarterback over the coach. Now, I don't know if it's the right choice. Time will tell if it's right or wrong. If they do hire a coach who can reach Lamar Jackson and make him more Patrick Mahomes both on and off the field, then they made the right decision. But if Lamar's going to continue to be Lamar, and based on the reporting and stories, is immature by NFL quarterback standards. Maybe not immature like for of the earth, but immature for what you expect from the leader of your franchise. If you can't get a coach that reaches him, you're going to be in the same spot. But I know Ian Rappaport's saying what he's heard, but what he's hearing is clearly from the Ravens camp because they did pick Lamar Jackson over John Harbaugh. That I'm pretty confident of as time has marched on.
I also think like this is a really, really important part of all of this. Just because you're the best at throwing the ball amongst the group doesn't make you the leader. This is no shade towards Darren Peterson, but I saw it last night with my own eyes. Darren Peterson is not the leader of the Kansas basketball team. He is by far and away the best player. Darren Peterson is going to probably be the number 1 overall pick, maybe the number 2 overall pick. Darren Peterson will likely one day play in an NBA All-Star game. He is going to make a tremendous amount of money playing basketball because he is one of the most efficient scorers I have ever seen. And we all know, I don't care what's going on, the game is always going to be about buckets and your ability to be able to score. And Darren Peterson does it at a Kevin Durant in college level, a Michael Beasley level. He is not the leader of that team in any capacity. It's Melvin Counsell. And if you have been to a Kansas basketball game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The team feeds off of Melvin Counsell differently than they feed off of Darren Peterson, and the crowd does the exact same thing. I think last year Kansas was missing a dog, a guy with that fight. They desperately wanted it to be Hunter Dickinson. We know that's not his personality. DeJuan Harris is a great all-time Jayhawk, not really his personality. Kansas fan base, I think, was yearning for a measure of toughness. That is exactly what Melvin Counsell is. From a basketball perspective, I think Melvin Counsell's kind of average, honestly. Like, he's not a great scorer, doesn't really shoot it well, doesn't do a whole lot of things. It just works for their basketball team, and his toughness and his belief in himself, you can sense how everybody in that building feeds off of them. There was more excitement in that building. And Rob, you were there. Tell me if I'm wrong. There was more excitement when Melvin Council hit that little flip shot and then went over to the crowd. It was more excitement in that moment than when Darren Peterson hit those three free throws. It was a different level of energy. That building was feeding off of the success of one individual. That's a leader. It's something you can't explain. It's not something you can write down. I don't know if it's something you can teach, but people know and people can feel it. And I'm with you. It is obvious. There is a fracture in the Ravens' power structure between their coach and their quarterback. And the organization made a choice. Now, you got to figure out a way to make this work. Like, you have committed significant financial resources to Lamar Jackson. You are stuck in a lot of ways with Lamar. So I know it sounds crazy us playing this audio. You got to find somebody that can reach him and reinvigorate him and do those things. Man, when you're as in deep as the Ravens are, you don't really have a choice. You got to figure out a way. The clock is ticking on Lamar. You don't have 7-8 more years, 7-8 more opportunities. You maybe got 2 or 3 left with Lamar. So as unfortunate as it sounds, and maybe I'm being hypocritical and flip-floppy in the same take, you don't really have a choice, though. You got to go find that person that can reinvigorate Lamar Jackson. Your organization depends on it. And if you can't do that, then you're not winning anything over these next couple of years. And you're going to have a guy that won 2 MVPs. You're going to have all this success, and you're not going to have really anything to show for it at the end of this run with Lamar.
Let me ask you this question. I want to phrase this correctly because I think the Ravens' job is the most desirable job on the market. But armed with the knowledge that the next head coach's job is to invigorate Lamar, and if you're unable to do so, you're fired, does that have a giant asterisk for that job? Like, if you're, let's pick an offensive mind, Kevin Stefanski, are you somewhat hesitant of taking that job? Because your job's not just to win football games, make the offense more explosive, fix X, Y, and Z. Your job is to make sure you connect with Lamar and fix that fracture when one of the most respected head coaches in the NFL. Like, we can argue, the text line can argue about how good or bad of a coach John Harbaugh is. What we know is he is very, very respected in NFL circles. He'll have his pick of the litter of NFL jobs. That guy couldn't reach and invigorate Lamar, and they fired him because of it. Is that job now come with an asterisk as far as desirability? Because that guy couldn't reach Lamar. Do I think I can reach Lamar?
I would say a tale as old as time is your ability in thinking that you can change somebody. We see this happen in every single walk of life. And we all know quarterback talent trumps all. The Ravens still have the best quarterback situation of any team that right now has a current opening, of any of those teams. So if you're a head coach and you know that your success and whether or not you continue to have this job is 100% based on how good your quarterback is. Like, I thought that Jonathan Gannon was going to get another shot. Jonathan Gannon took the wrong job. He took a job that he had to make Kyler Murray work. Kyler Murray didn't work, as he hasn't worked at any point in his NFL career. That got him fired. We can go up and down the list. If you were Raheem Morris, you want to know why you got fired? You got fired because the team spent $70 million on 35-year-old Kirk Cousins, and then they spent the top 10 pick on a quarterback with bad knees. That's what got you fired. So, yeah, if you're Kevin Stefanski, and I'm rolling the dice, am I rolling the dice on Arizona's quarterback situation? Am I rolling the dice on Cam Ward? Or am I going to see what I can do with Lamar Jackson, knowing that the talent is there, knowing what the ceiling can potentially be, and just believing that I can accomplish these things and get the most out of the Ravens quarterback? I'm guessing they're going to end up getting one of the premier coaches. That's what I'm going to guess. Like, we can go through the list. I got it right here of what the Vegas odds say. I'm going to guess that out of the coaches that you and I would deem are the hottest prospects, I'm going to assume that he gets one of those jobs, or one of those guys end up going to Baltimore because their quarterback situation is too good.
Yeah, I'm not disputing that Baltimore is going to get – Baltimore is the most desirable job on the market. I think that's just kind of how it works, though. Usually the jobs in the market aren't like, wow, the Super Bowl champion job came available. It's usually the dregs of the leagues. That's why what makes Baltimore a unique situation. But I do think if I'm insert Coach X, I do have a slight hesitation. Not a full hesitation, but a slight hesitation knowing that my job is not just to win football games. It's to go out and make sure Lamar Jackson is no longer fractured with the organization. So I do think there's a slight hesitation. I don't think it changes the desirability, but I do believe there's a slight hesitation.
Text line 913-586-7965. Very curious to know what you guys think about all of this. Coming up in the 4 o'clock hour, Joshua Briscoe is going to join us in studio. We'll talk to him about the top stories of the day. If you missed it, Travis Kelce was on the New Heights podcast earlier today, and he was talking about what his future could potentially look like in the National Football League.
Trav, you want to tell us all of your personal endeavors?
Yeah, every season ends for me. I put my feet up and I just be a human.
Yeah.
Just being a regular human for a couple weeks, maybe a month or so, and trying to figure out what I'm going to do next in terms of my future in football. You know, I've talked to a few people in the facility already, you know, having the exit meetings and everything, and they know where I stand, at least right now. And there's a lot of love for the game that's still there, and I don't think I'll ever lose that. It's a tough thing to navigate, but at the same time, if my body can heal up and rest up, and I can feel confident that I can go out there and give it another 18, 20, 21 week run, I think I would do it in a heartbeat. So I think right now it's just finding that answer and seeing how the body feels after this game and kind of when it all settles down.
I'm confused. So you're not already coming back? Chris Jones has said that you're coming back. I thought this was already
nice. That's why we love Chris. He's very optimistic.
That was Travis Kelce on his podcast talking about his future. The NFL regular season ratings are out. The average NFL game gets around 18.7 million viewers. That is up 10% from last year. NFL games rank as 89 of the top 100 shows on television. So confirming what we already know, people really love watching the National Football League. Let me give you guys the top 5 most watched games of the regular season this past year. Week 11 between the Chiefs and the Broncos was number 5 at 29 million viewers. Week 9, Chiefs against the Buffalo Bills was at 30.9 million and number 4. Number 3 on this scale was Philadelphia against Kansas City, 33.8 million viewers. Number 2 was the Green Bay and Detroit game on Thanksgiving. Number 1 with 57.3 million viewers was the Chiefs game against the Cowboys on Thanksgiving. 4 of the 5 most watched games in the National Football League this past year were Kansas City Chiefs games. Rob, when you hear this stat, when you see the numbers and you see how America tuned into the Kansas City Chiefs, what would you attribute this to?
So first off, maybe this is hating. I would throw that first game off to the side. I think it's a little different. It's Thanksgiving Day and it's the Cowboys and the Chiefs. Like, we knew it was going to do huge numbers. Like, I put it in a separate category from the other 3 Chiefs games as far as pattern, trend, thoughts on it, because it's a standalone on Thanksgiving at 3 o'clock. The other 3 games, though, I think point to one thing. People like watching the best players, and those games featured a Super Bowl rematch. Patrick Mahomes, obviously, in all those games. Josh Allen was in one of those games. The 1 seed in the AFC was in those games. So people were tuned in because the Chiefs were in the biggest games. And I also think there's a part of this for this season that was at play. I think there was a section of America that was watching those Chiefs games because they were enjoying the Chiefs' demise. So I think if we pull last year's ratings, pull the year before, the Chiefs are always a draw. 100% of the time, the Chiefs are a draw because Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and they play in the biggest games and the best games against the best teams. All those things. I think this year, a little part of it, a little, seasoning, a little splash of something extra was, if you were a Craig Carton type, you were locked in because you wanted to see their failure, which is what we do in the NFL. We have heroes rise and fall. I think that definitely was at play this year in the NFL.
I think it's obviously some of that. We certainly see that America will hate watch certain teams and root against those teams. I also think this just kind of goes, man, people just watch what they know. Like, it kind of takes a while for you to kind of break through and kind of be that team. Like this year, I mean, no one's arguing the Chiefs are one of the best teams in the league, but there has been a certain brand that has been associated with the Chiefs over the last 4 or 5 years that if you are a neutral party NFL fan, you know that they have good quarterback play and that this is going to be a close and competitive game. you know that everybody else is watching it, and you want to be able to chime in and offer up your opinion on the big thing that happens. I think that's a major part of it. Sure, some of it's Taylor Swift, some of it's they changed the rating system. Yeah, but I think when you look at everything, ratings-wise, I think you notice a trend. There was a time where, man, America really wanted to watch LeBron and watch Steph Curry. And when you watch basketball, that's what you watched. And now I think you're starting to see in the NBA, hey, fans they're kind of moving away from it. I want to see Jalen Brunson. I want to see Cade Cunningham. I'm ready for some new. I think what this tells you is that the Chiefs have created a brand that is good television. And if you're going to watch 1 or 2 games a week, man, the average fan is not the diehard start to finish. I'm watching from 12 until Sunday Night Football. That is not the average fan watches their team and the big games. And the Chiefs have just played in so many big football games over the course of the last 5 or 6 seasons or so. It'll be very interesting to see what that looks like next year. Now that the feeling is that it's over for the Chiefs, they might not have Mahomes, and is the public now moving on from Kansas City? As you would guess, they're just going to get fewer nationally televised games this upcoming season than they did last year. Keep it right here. It's The Drive on 96.5 The Fan.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
This January, Fridays just got cooler, only at Harrah's Kansas City. Polar Patrol is making their rounds, and you can win $500 in free play. Just come out and play at any slot machine or table game for your chance to win $500 in free play. That's right, Fridays in January, the fun is on patrol and the prizes are ready to pop. So bundle up and head to Harrah's Kansas City, where the good times keep flurrying. 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Presenting A Gain Flings Love Story. Dear love of my life, we were on the 12B bus this morning when I caught a whiff. A scent so fresh, so life-changing, I had to find its source. Alas, I didn't know if you were the woman in the pink freshly washed cardigan or the retired mailman next to me, but I knew one of you was my soulmate. Ah, the scent of Gain Flings. Try Game Flings with OxyBoost and Febreze.
Hey, hockey fans! Now with BetMGM, you can win a share of $10,000 in bonus bets when your anytime goal scorer nets 3. Enter BetMGM's Hat Trick Jackpot all season long for your chance to win some major bonus bets. It's easy. Just log in and opt into the promotion. Then make an anytime score bet on any hockey game of at least $10. If your player of choice scores 3 goals instead of just 1, you'll win your share of the $10K in bonus bets. There's nothing quite like watching a game with a hat trick, especially when it means you can win a share of $10,000 in bonus bets. Ready to shoot your shot? Download the app today. BetMGM. Make it legendary.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards or bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your Nature-Made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature-Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Call Hamilton today for our $79 mainline drain cleaning special. The pros at Hamilton will inspect your drains with video camera technology to pinpoint exactly what is needed to clear those clogs and help prevent expensive drain repairs. The expert technicians at Hamilton are ready 7 days a week to solve your problem the right way, the first time. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 5-star reviews are great reasons to trust Hamilton. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions.
License number 2025-11120.
This afternoon, expect sunny skies with a high of 64.
Weather brought to you by Staples. 2026 is here, and at Staples, deals mean business. Like up to $100 off custom print orders. Head into the new year looking good for less. Staples. That was easy. Ends 1/31.
When severe weather hits, tune in to 98.1 KMBZ for Operation Stormwatch. Brought to you by Century Roofing. Proudly voted the #1 roofing company in all of Kansas City. CenturyRoofingKC.com. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
Can I get on my soapbox for just a little bit? And I know this is stupid, and I already know how you guys are going to respond to this. But one of the beautiful things about having your own radio show is you can just talk about what you want in an individual moment. So if you guys can just indulge me for 2 to 3 minutes, and then I promise you on the back half, we'll talk about something more important, I would appreciate it. I would say that the channel that I watch the most is YouTube. I watch games and shows and movies and all of those things. But if I had to go through my television streaming platforms, what is the most amount of time that you spend not directly watching a game? It is on YouTube. I'll watch a movie off YouTube. I'll watch a radio interview off YouTube, a podcast, old television show. I watch a lot of YouTube. Am I the only one that's noticed that the ads on YouTube, they've really gotten out of control? Now, I don't pay for YouTube. I kind of had a long-standing, I'm not paying for YouTube. YouTube's supposed to be free. And now every time you get on the app, they then tell you, hey, do you want to sign up for YouTube Premium? I'm like, no, I ain't paying for that. I'm not paying $12 to not watch these ads. Rob, the ads on YouTube are getting egregious. You used to get, you got to watch the ad for a mandatory 10 seconds, then it would give you the ability to skip the ad. No, not anymore. They're making you sit through 30-second ads now. They're making you sit through 60-second ads and then watch another ad if you possibly want to skip. They're forcing me to start paying for YouTube Premium. I got to do it. I can't. Bro, they're just getting crazy, man. You'll sit there and you'll just try to watch a little 10-minute clip. Hey, I'm just trying to watch a little 10-minute. You know how the podcasts do. You don't got to watch the whole hour-long podcast, but they'll break it up into like 3 little 8-minute chunks. Man, I'm sitting there watching. I got to watch 2, 3. The ads I got to watch are longer than the video that they have me watching. I told you guys I wasn't going to spend too much time. It was just on my heart. It's ridiculous. And I know it's my fault. I got the broke boy YouTube, and I just need to go ahead and just be an adult. Have you ever been watching TV with somebody and then you realize that they got the ad version of Hulu and you're like, come on now. You got to want better for yourself. I'm not watching ads on Hulu. I'm not. Like, you got to spend the money. Spend the extra $3 a month and just get the ad-free version. That's probably what some of you guys are saying right now on the text line. I don't even have it up because I don't want you, why don't you just pay for it? You're right. I need to pay for it. Today, I was trying to get ready and I'm watching, and then you know how you're doing stuff, and then you're like, what is that sound? And I'm like, oh, it's just been on an ad this whole time. I can't do it anymore. It's absolutely frustrated me. I'm sorry. I'll move on, but I had to share that with you. Rob, this is the analogy I'll make for the Royals. So tell me if you think I'm wrong. I feel like right now where we are with the Royals, it's like when you get too early to the club. The club, when you get there at the right time and the energy's starting to pick up and everybody's having a good time and drinking and the girls are bringing the sparklers out, it's fun. But if you get to the club too early and nobody is in there, it's miserable. It's not a very fun time. But you're in there and you go grab a drink and you're kind of mingling and you're doing this and you are hoping and anticipating that eventually it is going to start getting fun. That's kind of how I think the Royals offseason has gone. Sure, the Royals did the thing a couple of weeks ago where they got Maikel Garcia, which is it is fantastic news. Maikel Garcia was already going to be on this team. He was already going to be on next year's team. I was never worried about Maikel Garcia. I feel like I'm early at the club and we're just kind of waiting for the Royals to do the really cool thing. We're waiting on them to make the trade. We're waiting on them to make the big free agent sign. Like, we're waiting for the Royals to give us some pop, some sizzle, not just on the field, but off the field too. I think we all know that stadium news is coming. The Chiefs have now 100% made their decision on where they want to go, and we are just waiting until one day we wake up and you see a tweet or a bit of information that tells you, hey, this is not a game anymore. That's how it was with the Chiefs. We found out that the Chiefs were going to be at this meeting and that a press conference was scheduled, and we all put two and two together, I guess all of us except the mayor, on what was going to happen with all of this. I feel like that's where we are right now with the Royals. The club opened up at 10. We're at the club at 10:45. It doesn't close until 3, so I don't want anybody to think that I think it's over, that they're not going to make these moves. But I think we're all just kind of sitting here and we're just kind of all looking around like, hey, when does this start getting fun? When does it really start to pick up? I'm waiting to see when they make their outfield move in order to really evaluate this team and really talk about them. But it's just been slow motion for the last month or so with this team.
I think two things can be true at once. One, I do think the Royals are better positioned at this time this year than they were at this time last year. Now, that doesn't mean they're a World Series team or they're a lock to win the AL Central. I believe the over-under just came out for whatever your favorite betting app is. FanDuel for me, it's 81.5. So they think they're a middle-of-the-road, league average team. I think that is a better spot today than they were a year ago. But you're right. We're waiting on the next thing. And I feel like we keep hearing reports and news and rumors. The next thing is coming. They've been tied to Jarren Duran. They've been tied to Teoscar Hernandez. They've been tied to Brendan Donovan. They've been tied to player X, Y, and Z. We can go through the list of all the outfielders they've been tied to. Now just a matter of, hey, let's do it. Let's do the thing. And I agree with you. I think right now we're in the club. But we're in the club, and maybe this is part of your analogy. You're waiting for the cool thing to happen, but everyone kind of feels like this place always has a cool thing happen. We think it will happen this year because cool things happen here. The Royals are connected to too many outfielders, make me think they're just done. Like last year, they were pretty quiet.
Way more confidence in the Royals than I got. The only reason I say that is,
guys.
Rob, you've been around here too. You're telling me you're 100% certain that the Royals are taking a big swing at outfielder?
I think they're taking a swing.
Because they are attached to a bunch of different names. You're right. But we have all been with the person that looks at the menu, and man, there's some great stuff on the menu. But you know what? When it's time to order, when the waitress comes, you know what they get? The $12 chicken fingers. That's who the Royals are. Man, there's some great things on this menu. Man, you can get yourself a steak. Man, they got the roast. They got the shrimp. Get all this stuff. I don't know, man. I'm just going to get a burger. What? How? How are you doing that? So you just got way more confidence in the Royals than I do. Yes, the Royals have been attached to some big-time names that right now, if there are some names that if the Royals made right now, the rest of the show we would talk about that player. No Chiefs, no stadium, no funny TikTok stories. The rest of the show would be us talking about that one individual player. I also could see them making a move that we talk about for 10 minutes and we move on. And then that's their solution to the outfield problem. You and I have lived in Kansas City too long. We follow the Royals too long. You can't tell me you are certain they're taking a big swing at outfielder that the whole city is going to rally around, and we all know that they mean business, and now they found their 5-hitter, and now the Royals are going for the division. You cannot feel that way. Not about this organization.
I feel like, I don't know there's a big swing coming, but I think there's a gray zone between, hey, we throw out the rundown, we're doing 4 hours of Jarren Duran, and hey, here's a nice 5-minute thing. They did this small, smart thing. There's a gray zone. Like, it might not be Jarren Duran or Cody Bellinger, but I also don't think it's going to be another Isaac Collins. Like, no disrespect to him, he's going to be the starting left fielder. He's a fine player. There's a gray zone in there, though, where they can add a quality player that will improve their team, that we'll be talking about, that will make the city think, oh, hold on here. The Royals have something cooking. I think if there was ever an offseason for the Royals to have us go to Royals Rally at the K, or they head to Surprise and people be talking about them in a positive light, this is the offseason to do it. You have all the runway. You have all the outlets talking about nothing sports-related for the next month and a half. it's going to be Darren Peterson central on the drive unless something happens with the Royals. They better do something, and I think there is a gray area between home run swing and, for your chicken finger analogy, there's a gray area in between there. They can do something in that world.
I don't disagree with you. I'm just back to the main analogy about us being in the club too early. Man, Royal season ended a long time ago. Royal season ended early October. We're in January. They ain't really done nothing to get you really excited yet. And spring training is in a month. They report on February 9th. So again, I'm not telling you it's over and that they failed. They still got time. There's still a lot of big name free agents. There's a lot of time left. It just right now, I think we were all just sitting around with our hands in our pocket, just waiting on the action, waiting on the thing to happen with the Royals, whether it's with the team or with the stadium. I think we're all just sitting around like, so what are you guys going to do? At least that's where I am when it comes to the Kansas City Royals. Coming up at the top of the hour, we are seeing a lot of changes in the National Football League. I think we know who's next up. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon. Hello? You won't believe where I am. Are you running? Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus, 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing. Mom, how do you feel? I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture, and then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with AutoPay, plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence Data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
The world's largest sportsbook at your fingertips has arrived in Missouri. Circus Sports is sports betting the way it should be. With high app limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service, Circus Sports is better for the better. From football to basketball, college sports to pro, start betting like the pros in Missouri. Built for sports bettors by sports bettors. Download your new bookie today at circusports.com. Must be 21 or older. For problem gambling, call the Problem Gamblers Helpline at 1-800-522-4700.
Wouldn't you like to take a vacation from your bills? Well, you can. With credit card balances at an all-time high and Golden Oak's 4.5% rate, you could be saving thousands of dollars after a simple phone call. Call today and get your cash in as little as 14 days and make no payments for 2 months. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Landing cured my blues.
5.442 APR, FHA 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit, additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Presenting a Gain Flings love story. Dear love of my life, we were on the 12B bus this morning when I caught a whiff. A scent so fresh, so life-changing, I had to find its source. Alas, I didn't know if you were the woman in the pink freshly washed cardigan or the retired mailman next to me, but I knew one of you was my soulmate. Ah, the scent of Gain Flings. Try Gain Flings with OxyBoost and Febreze.
Hey, it's Rex here with RexBuysKC.com, your local KC home buyer. If you own a property in the Kansas City or surrounding area and want to sell it fast and at a fair price, write this number down, 816-330-6000. I'm a private real estate investor, not some hedge fund or large national chain. My family and I live right here in KC. I can pay cash and close on your timeline, even in as little as 3 days. Here at RexBuysKC.com, we're improving Kansas City one house at a time. I buy inherited houses, vacant houses, foreclosure houses, behind in payment houses, my tenant won't pay the rent houses, and properties that need complete rehabs.
Do you own a house that's trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at this number, 816-330-6000. That's 816-330-6000, or go to rexbuyskc.com. That's rexbuyskc.com, and I look forward to working with you.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram at TheFan965 for behind-the-scenes videos like MVP Monday, Chiefs Take Tuesday, and Best Bets. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ, FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
All right, welcome back into the drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. Coming up in about an hour, Joshua Briscoe is going to join us in studio. We are going to take your calls, read your texts, talk Chiefs, kind of a final appearance, at least for the next couple of weeks, with our guy, Joshua Briscoe. I want to play this audio for you guys again, and we'll dive into it a little bit deeper coming up on the other side. This is a report from Ian Rappaport of NFL Network about what the Ravens are looking for in their new head coach.
It did seem like a lot of the focus here was to find someone to reach Lamar, to invigorate Lamar, to find him, right? I mean, that's sort of what we're talking about here. I'm not saying that it was like they chose a coach over the quarterback, or they chose a quarterback over the coach. It's not like that. It's just which coach can come in and get the absolute most out of the two-time MVP that just had a weird year, and a year where a lot of people in the building were wondering, like, is Lamar okay? What's wrong with him? How can we get to him? The goal for the new leader of the organization is find someone who can get the absolute most of their superstar talented quarterback.
So that was Ian Rappaport talking about the Baltimore Ravens. We'll go through the odds here coming up in a little bit and who Vegas thinks are most likely to end up taking that position. But what I want to talk about first is this. I would say the three most disappointing teams in the league are as follows. Kansas City gets the gold medal. I would say that the Ravens get the silver medal and the Lions get the bronze medal. These are three teams that all had Super Bowl aspirations. All three of those teams outright missed the postseason. There is not a team you can suggest to me that was more disappointing than those three teams. Two of those teams have already made, I would say, significant changes. The Baltimore Ravens just let go of their head coach. 2 years ago, they were in the AFC Championship game. Last year, they had a chance to go to another AFC Championship game if Mark Andrews catches the football. And this year, they had a little bit of a down year, but the Ravens have made the decision, this doesn't work for us anymore. We are going to part ways, and it was not mutual. They fired John Harbaugh on Monday. The Detroit Lions. Now, we knew they had some coordinator changes. Ben Johnson's gone. Aaron Glenn is gone. We knew it was going to be a little bit different in Detroit. It was a little bit different in Detroit. Fast forward. They gave their offensive coordinator 1 year. They fired their offensive coordinator this year. Their offense really wasn't the problem this year. I mean, it wasn't the same offense it was with Ben Johnson, but their offense is not why they missed the postseason this year. They gave their offensive coordinator 1 season. They fired him. They're now looking in another direction. 2 of the 3 most disappointing teams have already made a significant change. I think we're all kind of waiting to see what that change could be for the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, as we talked about this week, Matt Nagy is not under contract, so you don't have to fire Matt Nagy. The Lions would have had to fire their offensive coordinator. The Chiefs don't have to fire their offensive coordinator. His contract is gone. You can just make the decision to not renew when it comes to him. And right now, there are more teams that are asking to talk to Matt Nagy. The Cardinals have requested an interview. The Titans have requested an interview. And the Raiders have requested an interview. I mean, 3 teams. Now, these are not the premier jobs in the league by any means, but the Raiders are going to have the number 1 overall pick. makes sense to me why you would talk to a former quarterback, offensive coordinator, offensive mind type. And you would have to assume if the Raiders are interested, Brady also gave this his sign of approval. Like, Tom Brady wants to be a part of the process of talking to Matt Nagy. Arizona, they're looking for a new coach and quarterback combination, now moving off of Kyler Murray. The Titans, they have the former number 1 overall pick in Cam Ward. They're looking to go in a different direction. Hey, teams that are making quarterback changes or are in a position to do something at quarterback are talking to Matt Nagy. I just don't think he's coming back. But I do think we're all sitting around and kind of waiting. I guess the theme of the segment we were talking about with the Royals, we're kind of in the same boat too with the Chiefs, and it's early on in the process. So I understand I'm not expecting something to happen immediately, but we saw what the change was with the Ravens. I assume they're going to continue to make more changes. If you fire your head coach, you're getting a new OC. You're getting a new defensive coordinator. That guy's going to want to bring in his own staff. If you have an offensive coordinator, you got to let that guy also work with some people that he wants to work with. That's part of it. Hey, what running back coach do you want? What wide receiver coach do you want? I mean, if you're about to go in a completely different direction of offensive coordinator, it's not just we change out Matt Nagy, but we bring everybody else back. No. If this is my side of the ball or I have some input or I have some say, you got to also let me be part of the hiring process of guys that I want around me and guys that I think can help get the most out of my ability. So we've already seen 2 of these 3 teams announce what their major change is. I think we're waiting to see here in the next couple of days what that change could quite possibly be for the Kansas City Chiefs.
I agree with your premise. I worry, and maybe this is me just being a worrier, I worry that if it hasn't happened yet, is it going to happen? Because someone on the text line says, hey, I'm just tuning in. You guys talking about how the fact that the Chiefs need to fire Dave Tobe. You're seeing coordinator firings in the NFL. It's Wednesday after the season
Left
ended.
and right, that's happening.
Like Andy Reid, we carried the press conference on Monday at 3. He talked about how they finished player exit interviews, and then they were going to pivot to coach exit interviews. Matt Nagy, we know, I believe Dan Orsini had the report, maybe Jordan Schultz, I apologize, had the dates at which Matt Nagy will be interviewing for other people. It's tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday.
Yeah.
So he clearly ain't in the building Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So the Lions finished their exit interviews. They fired the OC. The Ravens finished exit interviews. They fired the head coach. We've seen other coordinators across the league. The Cowboys fired Matt Eberflus. Like this is happening a lot of places. It's Wednesday. I'm not saying it can't happen tomorrow, Friday. It might even happen next week. I don't know when or if it happens. But as time continues to march on and we don't get a press release or an Ian Rappaport report that, hey, the Chiefs have decided to move on from Dave Tobe. Hey, the Chiefs are making some staff changes. The following assistant coaches aren't coming back. Every day that we don't get that report, I get more and more hesitant to believe that we're going to get that report. So I do think the Chiefs need to make big changes, but they haven't made them yet. And as time marches on, it becomes more concerning they haven't made those changes.
So let's go through the Baltimore Ravens and right now what the gambling odds say in terms of who their next head coach can be. Right now, the favorite for the Ravens job is Chris Shula. He is the defensive coordinator for the Los Angeles Rams. Jesse Minter is second on this list. He is the defensive coordinator for the Los Angeles Chargers. Cliff Kingsbury is number 3, Brian Flores is number 4, and Kevin Stefanski. Those are the top 5 right now for the Baltimore Ravens. I think Brian Flores and Kevin Stefanski make a lot of sense. If you are the Ravens, and I think it's different with Cliff Kingsbury, he has former experience, but he didn't have a lot of success where he was. I don't know if in this very critical juncture with the Ravens, I don't know if you can have a guy that is also learning on the fly. Like, I don't know if you're the Ravens and you're going to go into next year with Super Bowl aspirations. Tennessee is not going into next season with Super Bowl aspirations. They're hoping to improve. Arizona is not going into next season with that thought process. Tennessee, those teams are not going into it. The Raiders. That is exactly what the Ravens will have next year. Hey, we got Lamar, we got Derrick Henry, we got this. Hey, we think we are ready to get back to where we're supposed to be and compete. I think you got to hit the ground running. I don't know if you can now hire a coach who has no previous experience. I just don't know if you can do that while the clock is ticking with Lamar Jackson. So I'm looking at their situation. I think you're going with the guy who has previous experience. I think you're going with a Brian Flores, and you're trying to bring in a very high-powered offensive coordinator. Flores handles the defense, that coordinator handles the offense and works one-on-one with Lamar. I could see being that power structure. Or Kevin Stefanski. You think he's the best quarterback guru out there. You think he makes a lot of sense to kind of push your offense forward. Maybe you keep Todd Monken and they work together and they do that. But just looking at the Ravens, I would be surprised if they go with the first-time head coach. I just don't think that's where they are.
I agree, and I'm surprised Kevin Stefanski's not a bigger favorite there. Because Kevin Stefanski is a guy who, outside of the last 2 years in Cleveland, was getting the most out of the talent in Cleveland. And I know that we make fun of the Browns. They had Myles Garrett and basically nothing else. They were a playoff team a couple of years ago with Joe Flacco at quarterback. Like, before they traded for Misty and Nasty, man, that was an organization you felt like, oh, Kevin Stefanski got something going. He won a playoff game with Baker Mayfield, who at the time we thought, oh, Baker's kind of a bust. Like, I'm surprised an offensive guy who has head coaching experience in the division, and will have seen Lamar a lot and maybe understands Lamar. I'm surprised he's not a bigger favorite because he would check the box of a guy who has experience offensive side of the ball, and in theory, you believe has a chance to connect, invigorate, and reach Lamar Jackson. I'm surprised he's not the leading candidate in the clubhouse.
Let's talk more about this coming up on the other side, because I wonder if I am missing something with Matt Nagy that maybe you guys are noticing a little bit differently. We'll get to that coming up. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5, The Fan.
Men, it's the new year, and for many of us, it's a time of deciding to make positive changes in our lives. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction and are tired of the frustration and embarrassment ED causes, you should call Heartland Men's Health today, because there probably isn't a better resolution you can make than to be done with ED. You see, ED doesn't just affect you, it can also affect your partner, even if they don't talk about it. But here's some great news. If you're like most guys, the treatments at Heartland Men's Health will give you back your sex life, because our protocols have success rates that work in well over 90% of cases. Seriously, you might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So, make an appointment and get ED out of your life. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. That's heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices: Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
The boats are back at Bartle Hall with 4 days of screaming deals on hundreds of boats at the KC Boat and Fishing Show, January 8th through the 11th.
Check out wake surf boats and pontoons, fishing boats, and luxury cruisers.
Enjoy nonstop entertainment, live stingrays, pro angler demos, and meet KC's Pitcher of the Year, Noah Cameron.
Get ready for fun in the sun at the Boat and Fishing Show, January 8th to the 11th at the Convention Center.
Pick up a free Thursday, Sunday ticket at Hy-Vee. Go to KCMoBoatShow.com for info.
Kids are free.
I'm worth more.
I'm worth a little more.
I'm worth a lot more.
I completely agree. You are worth more, and your car's worth more, and we want to pay more at GiveMeTheVin.com for good cars, because they are worth more, and so are you. And remember, if I don't beat the price on a CarMax or a Carvana deal, I'll pay you $100. For top price, trust, and ease of transaction, GiveMeTheVin.com, America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Hey, it's Cody and Gold, and you guys know Centric Training is where your IT career starts, and the year has started. Have you?
Maybe you are an occupational support specialist, an operations trainer, maybe just working in sales or outside and you're tired of it. You can have a new career in as little as 4 months to start this new year.
IT jobs are in demand, and Centric's enrolling right now. You can get hands-on training, industry certifications, career placement support over at Centric, and the sooner you start, the sooner you move forward. Visit Centric.com or call today. Centric Training, your IT career starts here.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. A robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Park & Go, the best deals on airport parking.
Heading out of town this winter? Snow, ice, and cold temps are stressful enough. Airport parking shouldn't be. Park & Go makes it easy with online reservations, fast free shuttles, and all spots are covered to keep your car protected from winter weather. Reserve your spot today at bookparkandgo.com.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
Good afternoon. Still dealing with the shutdown, and that is 71 headed southbound at 85th. That's police activity. You've got a stall 435 eastbound at Knoll, right lane blocked, and then 435 westbound just before Metcalf, left lane blocked. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Juju Smith-Schuster from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, so I want to read to you guys a tweet that came across my timeline from friend of the show, Brandon Kiley, and we're working on getting him on the show to talk about this tweet. So there was a conversation that was going on social media, and I don't need to read the entire conversation, but BK sent this out and said, "These are my 2 cents. I think Nagy is a bad fit as the offensive coordinator for the Chiefs. They need new ideas, and he doesn't provide. I also think that he's a pretty decent head coach given his relative success with the Bears. Both things can be true, especially in a brutal head coaching market that is coming up this offseason." I want to talk to BK about this a little bit more, but maybe I am too close to the situation, and I know that I've had a little bit of an about face on Matt Nagy. I did think that the conversation at the beginning of the season was a little bit harsh, and we were trying to figure out what was going wrong. And the first person to always blame, just like the hitting coach and the pitching coach when a baseball season is going awry, they're the 2 easiest people to point to. I thought we were doing that also with the offensive coordinator. But now we sit here and the season is over and we are pointing at what are the necessary changes that you feel you need to make as an organization. To me, it starts with the offensive coordinator for a team that we think is just underperformed throughout the duration of that guy's contract. I'm sitting here and I'm looking at Nagy's time in in Chicago, and I'm wondering, I'm like, was he really that great of a head coach? His first year was phenomenal. They went 12-4. They lost in the first round of the playoffs, even though they went 12-4. Rob, after that, they went 8-8. They went 8-8 in the COVID season. In the COVID season, they went 8-8. No fans, no nothing. 8-8. I don't even know if that was a real football season. The numbers were all out of whack. There's no fan. It was a crazy year. They went 8-8. They made the playoffs at 8-8. They made the playoffs at 8-8 and lost in the first round of the wild card round. They then went 6-11 the next year, and then he got fired. So he had that first dynamite boom, shot out of the cannon like a rocket year. They went 500 for back-to-back seasons. They then missed the playoffs. Andy, doing what a good friend does, went out and saved him immediately. Went out and saved him. He was a failed head coach. Hey, this is what you do. We'll bring you in. You'll be an assistant. You'll be a quarterback coach. We got an offensive coordinator here, but we'll bring you to the staff, and if something opens up, we'll call you. Well, something opened up. Eric Bieniemy moved on. They then moved Matt Nagy into that seat, and their offense has underperformed the last couple of years. I don't see Matt Nagy as really that great of a candidate. I would be upset if I was the Arizona Cardinals and that's the hire that we made. Sometimes I think we put a lot of stock in making a bowl game or making the NCAA tournament or making the playoffs. Everybody makes bowl games. You going 6-6 and making a bowl game, that is not that impressive to me. Going 8-8 in the COVID season, making the playoffs with the Bears and losing in the first round, that's just not super impressive to me. He hasn't done anything very impressive to me in the last 5 years, whether it was as the Chiefs offensive coordinator or his final 3 seasons with the Chicago Bears. We're talking 6 years of work history. For the life, I do not understand what makes Matt Nagy a great candidate to be a head coach in the National Football League. Other than previous head coaching experience, which obviously matters, that is a plus. I don't know what makes Matt Nagy a new, hot candidate where right now there's, 8 openings? 3 of the openings want to talk to him. I would be very upset if my favorite team hired Matt Nagy to be their OC.
So, by the way, I've talked to BK. He'll be on the show in about 10 minutes. We can talk to him more about this. I wonder if his point about the bad coaching market is the real key here. Because let's take Matt Nagy out of the equation. We talked about this yesterday when the Ravens job became available. Who are the it names right now? Because like last year, there were a lot of names. It was Ben Johnson. It was even
Vrabel.
Kellen Moore,
Yeah, for
Vrabel.
sure.
Like it was, oh man, it was a hot coaching search. This year, who are the hot names? Vance Joseph, who I believe has been a head coach, failed. Matt Nagy is one of them. Head coach, failed. There's, trying to think here, there's Steve Spagnuolo, who's been a head coach. And let's be honest, Steve Spagnuolo failed as a head coach. Like, there's not the wave of trendy, hot, can't miss names. Like, the best teams, coordinators aren't really popping like that. I guess the Chargers defensive coordinator, Jesse Minter, is a big name, but he's an unproven commodity, and he's a defensive coordinator. So I'm curious to talk to BK about this because I want to know what his thoughts are, but I wonder if a lot of the reason why Matt Nagy is having an element of buzz is because it's a very depressed coaching market. And at this time last year, when you could argue he was a more viable candidate, he was not considered by anyone because the market was just better. I think this is just one of those, it's about the draft. Like, there's just some years it's a bad year to have a top pick in the draft. This might be a bad year to be a head coach because there isn't just some hotshot name.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I think it kind of depends on who you are, sort of what you are looking for. I also just think in those years, like it's a little bit of a cop-out for the Detroit Lions. The Lions did not get a hotshot premium name we all were sitting here talking about. The Detroit Lions hired the New Orleans Saints tight end coach. That's what Dan Campbell was before he took over as the Lions head coach. You would not be excited if your team hired Dan Campbell, but it was new, it was fresh. He fit the culture of what the Lions needed. He made great coordinator hires, and now look at what the Lions have turned into over the last 4 or 5 seasons or so. So I do think it's important, just because you don't hit a home run hire kind of conversation, it doesn't mean that you didn't hire a very successful head coach. We can think of plenty of examples. There was a time where Todd Haley was the hot shot coach to go get. He was the offensive coordinator for a team that went. Everybody loved Todd Haley. He was Kevin Stefanski. He was the hot name that was out there. He was not a successful head coach, not at all. So I hear what you were saying, that at least in terms of name, in terms of sizzle, that doesn't appear to be that candidate that's out there. But that doesn't mean that you can't hire a good coach if you're looking for somebody right now. And that's where I guess back to the Matt Nagy point is, I just think these teams just need some imagination. They need some creativity. Like, if you're hiring Matt Nagy because he got he got a Mitch Trubisky-led team to an 8-8 record in the COVID year, and they made the playoffs because of it. You deserve whatever happens with that hire. And when that hire doesn't work in 3 years, I don't want you to look around and be like, oh, how do we not know? All of the information is right there that he was not a great head coaching option to me.
I also think, maybe I'm thinking too much about this. The text line's weird because, 20 minutes ago, everyone was fired Matt Nagy, he stinks. Now there's a surprising amount of people in the text line like, well, it's impossible to win in Chicago. He had Mitch Trubisky. He took the job in Chicago knowing he had Mitch Trubisky. And also, I know Mitch Trubisky is not worth the number 2 overall pick. They should take in Patrick Mahomes, blah, 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 blah. Let's not talk about Mitch Trubisky like he's Chris Oladokun or he's Shane Buechele or we've seen Mitch Trubisky is a totally, if the Chiefs sign Mitch Trubisky as their backup quarterback next year and I make a spot start or two, you could win with Mitch Trubisky. I don't think he's a full-time starter in the league, but there's a weird amount of
You could definitely make the playoffs with Mitch Trubisky. You could 100% make the playoffs.
There's a weird amount of Nagy apologies in the text line because of that, is my point.
Just like you can make the playoffs with Daniel Jones. You need to run the football successfully. You need to have a good defense. If the goal is just we need to be one of the top 14 teams in the league, Mitch Trubisky can get you to be one of the top 14 teams in the league. He can get you to be there. You got to do some other stuff right, but he could definitely get you there. That's why I just think we put too much stock on, oh, you made the postseason. 40% of the league makes the postseason. And then there's 8 teams that have no chance of making because they're not even trying at quarterback. There's some teams doing way worse than Mitch Trubisky at quarterback. Yeah, Matt Nagy is not someone I would interview. I also think it's where do you interview? What kind of organizations are interested? I'll be very curious to see if Baltimore interviews Matt Nagy. We think that's a great job. I think the Giants is a really, really strong job. Are the Giants interested in bringing in Matt Nagy? I would say of the options that are there, these are teams or organizations that I would consider to be on the low end. The Titans, the Cardinals, and the Raiders, who I think are trying to turn things around and they're being kind of proactive about it. But the Raiders haven't been good for 20 years. That's different than the Giants. That's very different than the Ravens situations.
I totally agree. I do think I would not want Matt Nagy. If I was a Titans, I'll cherry pick them. I don't know I would want Matt Nagy, but I could see a scenario where if I'm the Cardinals, I want the stabilizing force who did go to the playoffs twice for Mitch Trubisky and worked with Patrick Mahomes being a guy maybe in my building. I still wouldn't hire Matt Nagy because I feel like the disaster of this season lies at everyone's feet, and he's one of those people. But I could see a scenario where if you're a Cardinals fan or you're a team with an existing underachieving quarterback, you sell yourself as a fan base on, hey, we are bringing him in to be the stabilizing force. Look, he was a stabilizing force earlier in his career with Mitch Trubisky. It wouldn't be me, but I don't think that's a crazy thought by someone to make that point.
We'll get back to the NFL here coming up in just a little bit. A ticket angel, this is beyond a ticket fairy, a ticket angel yesterday looked out for me and gave me 2 premium tickets to the KU game. I'm like, all right, I'll go. It wasn't part of my evening plan. I had other plans. I moved things around. I am going to go to the KU game. And boy, did I make one of the best decisions I've made in a while.
Got to get it to somebody. Peterson. Oh, it's 3 foul shots for the tie. Robinson. And Kansas pulls it out.
I know that we got BK coming up here in just a bit. I know that. Rob, I need you to explain to me why storming the court is such a bad thing. Because I know text line 913-586-7965, we don't storm the court. We're Kansas basketball. We are against storming the court. You're telling me that if your basketball team is down 15 with 5 minutes to go at the crib, your basketball team was down 11 with 3 minutes to go in the game, you're down double digits with a minute left in the game, your star player who just went over to the head coach and said, hey, take me out. Again, he does this every game. Your star player walked over to the head coach and said, "Hey, coach, I'm done for the day. I'm good. I'm all right. I'm hurt." That guy comes back into the game because it's so little time left. Like, all right, hey, you know what? I got you. He then comes in. There's not a single player on that court that I would have trusted to make those 3 free throws more than the guy that took the free throws. Rob, you were there. They weren't even like questionable. He didn't even get one to rattle. I mean, swish, swish, swish. It was impressive. Then I have no clue what happened. Texas Tech makes maybe the worst pass, or TCU makes the worst pass I have ever seen. And now Kansas, they get a chance to win the basketball game in regulation. They draw up the perfect play to get Darren Peterson open. If Darren Peterson had made that shot, you can run on the floor. I don't care what any KU fan tells you. Carrington is telling you you have permission to run on the floor and celebrate it. Because the people that would have been most mad that you ran on the floor, they didn't go to the game when they had the chance. We came on this show and told you tickets were $10 yesterday. You had a chance to go to the game. You didn't go. I was also at the game. Half of you left the game early. Rob, tell me I'm lying. Half the people at the game left early. So now we going to be mad if the kids had ran on the floor? We're Kansas. We don't storm the court. Run on the floor.
This is just my rule.
Part of me wanted him to make it to see if the kids would have ran on the floor.
The kids would have on the floor. They wouldn't have done that. My rule of thumb is you don't storm the court, rush the field if you're favored. That's just the rule I adhere to. Now, you know what happens in Lawrence and in Durham and in Chapel Hill? You're favored. You're the favorite more times than not at home. You're supposed to win. You're the better team. The same way in Columbus for football and in Tuscaloosa for football, you don't see Alabama winning a big game against Georgia and their fans rush the field. That's not a thing. If you go with the expectation of winning, you shouldn't be rushing the court/field. It's why you see it a lot in Kansas football. No one expects them ever to win a game. So get on the field all the time. In basketball, hold yourself to a higher standard. So if Darren Peterson would have made that shot, I don't care about Travis Kelce's podcast. We would have led with that today.
100%. We absolutely would have led if he had made that shot.
And 2, those kids wouldn't have been on the floor because they know better. They're Kansas students.
Man, run on the floor, bruh. Call BK, but run on the floor. All of the programs that feel like they're too uppity to run on the floor, those are the ones we don't like. It's supposed to be fun, right? It's college basketball. Let the college kids run on the floor for probably the most exciting regular season win that they're going to have. Kansas was down 15. Kansas was getting smoked in their building yesterday. I was there. I witnessed it. They were getting smoked. And those kids, the kids didn't leave early yesterday. No, they stayed and created a home field environment. It was the adults. It was the people telling you that you can't storm the court that was hating last night. Let those kids run on the floor. Kansas fans, you know what? Kansas fans would be happier people if they just let them people run on the floor. But no, you're too busy playing fan police. We're Kansas basketball. How dare we? No, run on the floor. I wanted him to make it to see what they were going to do. Because I saw the social media. I saw KU fans wondering the last time KU went to the NIT. Y'all was ready to give up on Kansas basketball last night. Y'all was on the brink of giving up on Kansas basketball. Now y'all too good to run on the floor. Shameful work. Let's go to the phone lines. BK, how you doing, man?
I'm good, Tito. What's good, man?
BK, tell me, you and I were arguing about this privately, and now I want to have this conversation publicly. This is just my feeling. This is my sense. I feel like you think that people are too hard on Matt Nagy. That's how our conversation came off to me.
Okay, two different things. OC of the Chiefs, I don't necessarily think he gets too much flack. I don't think he's the right guy for this job, certainly not at this particular moment in time. He doesn't have the answers that the Chiefs are in need of. That's a different conversation, though, than Matt Nagy as a head coach. I absolutely think he's getting too much flack as a head coach. Look at what he did when he was with the Chicago Bears with Mitchell Trubisky as his quarterback, man. Guys that have that amount of success with that level of quarterback, when we look back and we realize, oh, yeah, that quarterback was, like, not competent as a starter. Like, not just, like, was a fringe starter in the NFL, goes on elsewhere, becomes a journeyman. No, like, that guy can't start for NFL football teams. And then the other guy that he got that was also a first-round pick has now gone on to 2 other teams where he's also been realized, oh, yeah, also not a legitimate NFL quarterback in Justin Fields. So I think he had as much success as you could have possibly asked for in a franchise that hasn't had a whole lot of success over the last 15 years or so in the NFL. I think he's a fine candidate. Inspiring? No, I wouldn't go that far. But there are very few inspiring candidates available this offseason. So if the Titans, for example, hire Matt Nagy, I think they could have made a hell of a lot worse of a hire.
Yeah, I would be very disappointed if my team hired Matt Nagy to be their head coach, but that's why I wanted to have you on. I guess let's start with this. You said that you don't think he was a good fit in Kansas City. If you had to explain it to somebody, why do you think that Matt Nagy didn't work as the OC in Kansas City?
I think the Chiefs in this moment in time are in a spot where the NFL has adjusted to their style of play. I think this happens a lot of the time. You see the best team in the NFL, they're the rabbit, everybody else is chasing them down. And so the league adjusts and they say, we need to build our defense, for example, in this scenario, to be able to stop that team. And teams have done that. They have adjusted schematically to what the Chiefs are doing. And you see the 2 high and all these different things. We've talked about it for about 5 years now. The Chiefs don't seem to have the answers to that. And part of that is on Andy Reid, and part of that is on Matt Nagy. And I think it's because they think too similarly. When you put 2 guys with the same ideas into that staff, and they are the primary offensive game deciders, they decide what the game plan is going to be, I think that you have too few answers for what defenses are presenting them. I think they need an influx of new ideas. I think you see this with any line of work, CDOT. When you're with the same people, you're around the same people every day for too long, things can become stagnant. I would say the same thing's true in our industry. If you work with the same person every single day for a decade, and you guys are just coming up with the same segment ideas, over time, it gets a little stale and you get repetitive. So I think that's where the Chiefs have run into, is they just have too many of the same ideas and they need new guys to come in and help them.
Who were some of the candidates that you would possibly throw out there? Because we were talking about Cliff Kingsbury yesterday. He's 46 years old. He obviously has a great relationship with Patrick Mahomes, where we know this. If you are high enough up in your company, you get to make suggestions to the big boss on who you want to work with. You would have to think that Patrick Mahomes is at least going to put in a good word for Cliff Kingsbury, where he at least at a minimum gets an interview. That's one name that's potentially out there. Who is somebody else? Who are some other ideas you would have at OC for Kansas City?
Yeah, let me start with Cliff. I find him to be really interesting. It kind of brings up almost like a new discussion point in the offseason, because Cliff at times has actually had a pretty successful running game. He just doesn't do it a lot. And I think that becomes a conversation for Chiefs fans of, what do you actually want out of your running game? Are we arguing this offseason that the Chiefs need to run more, or do they need to be more effective when they run? Because if the argument is they just need to be more effective when they do it, well, Cliff could be a perfect candidate for that. He could bring in some new ideas, and he changes the way that you run the offense to some level of degree. We know Andy's not going to completely overhaul the offense completely. It's still Andy Reid. But I do find him to be an interesting candidate. Other than that, though, man, if you just want an influx of new ideas, I think you pull from the teams that are having the success. Davis Webb is the, quarterbacks coach right now with the Broncos. Sean Payton's one of the best coaches in the NFL. Go pull from that tree. If you want somebody from the Rams coaching tree, Nathan Shieldhouse, Kansas City native. I remember growing up watching him as the quarterback at Rockhurst. Bring him home. Have him be, I think he's a passing game coordinator with the Rams. Bring him in. Allow him to be your next offensive coordinator. But just pulling from those trees, the offenses that are having success, the McVay, the Shanahan, the Liam Cohen, that tree right now, that's the one that's having the most amount of success. Whoever the name is, I think you just interview a bunch of candidates from those teams and see what you can get.
Right now, we're talking to BK here for a couple of more minutes, going through. He and I were having I wouldn't call it a spirited conversation. We were having a slight disagreement about Matt Nagy, so I wanted to bring it to you guys on the air. Let's say that tomorrow, and I know it's not going to happen tomorrow, but let's say that the Chiefs announce a 1-year, $12.5 million deal for Travis Kelce. Are you for it or against it?
For it, absolutely for it. What's the downside, really? He's still a good tight end. CDOT, whenever you get a chance, go look up the receivers in the NFL this year that made $12 million, right? I think Tutu Atwell got a $10 million deal. I think De'Ami Brown got somewhere around there as well. So if you're telling me, like, would you rather have the equivalent this offseason to whoever the free agent is this year, that's your version of Tutu Atwell or De'Ami Brown, or you can bring back Travis Kelce? What would you rather have? I would just rather have Travis Kelce. I think he sets a floor for your offense. He's not what he once was, but he's still a good player. He still brings leadership in the room. Travis Kelce was like the 100th biggest problem with this team this year. Bringing him back on a $12 million deal, I would be 100% in favor of it.
That's interesting you say that, because I wasn't thinking in going wide receiver 3. I was thinking if you were telling me that you can get Breece Hall for $12 million or Travis Kelce, I'd rather them go get Breece Hall.
Sure, do both. Like, I don't think you are limited to that degree. I think if you go get the running back in free agency, you can now just plan on taking a defensive end in the first round, and now you don't have to get that in free agency, which, by the way, I don't think is necessarily realistic anyways. It's not a particularly exciting defensive end class, so that's the way that I would go about it. I would absolutely go sign one of the running backs available. It's a great offseason to sign a free agent running back. I don't think you have to be limited for one versus the other.
What's your New Year's resolution?
In general, just like try to prioritize the right things, spend less time on my phone, all of the classic things that people do that have kids that decide they need to reset their lives.
So you don't have one. That's what you just told us. You don't have one. That's what it was. You know what, I want to spend more quality time with my wife. Well, you don't have a New Year's resolution then. That is our guy BK from ESPN 101 and STL joining us in the show. BK, I appreciate you, man. Happy New Year.
Take it easy. By the way, keep standing up for a rush in the court. It's the best thing.
Absolutely. Thank you, BK. Run on the floor. We can't do that. It cheapens the game. Run on the floor. That's what I want you to do. We need more court storm, more field storming. That's what makes college sports cool. We got Joshua Briscoe joining us in 20 minutes. Keep it locked in. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for K-State Athletics. 96.5, The Fan.
Let's go! You've still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Out here in the middle of these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on Earth. That's how it feels when you're struggling with your mental health. But you don't have to feel alone. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
The playoffs are here. More specifically, the NFL wildcard round is here, and FanDuel is turning on playoff mode. All customers get a profit boost pack during every NFL playoff game day, each game day during the wildcard round. You'll find a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts waiting for you on the app. So whether you're like me and you think the Patriots are going to go all the way, or you think Jacksonville is going to win in this first round of playoffs, you can take your shot on an upset or build a parlay that fits the moment. Then apply your profit boost and go for even bigger payouts while you get the playoffs rolling. Visit FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and grab your profit boost pack for every NFL playoff game day. FanDuel is an official sports betting partner of 96.5 The Fan. Must be 21 and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Bonus issue is non-withdrawable profit boot token. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
Taxes was feeling so stuck. Sitting in traffic, squeezing into a parking spot, all to squeeze in getting tax help during your lunch break. Now Taxes is a TurboTax expert who does your taxes for you, while you go about your day getting real-time notifications about their progress and the most money back guaranteed. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Only available with TurboTax experts. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile app.
Hi, this is Toby Tobin along with Jason Goodenkoff from Lewisburg Ford in Lewisburg, Kansas. Hi, Jason.
Hello, Toby.
Let's talk about the buying experience at Lewisburg Ford.
It's the best anywhere. Just ask all our customers, Toby. It is hands down the best experience you can have buying a new car. We have the no-hassle Toby Tobin price that we've had for over 45 years now. Nobody else can say that. We've been saving Kansas City thousands and thousands of dollars for a lot of years.
I have been buying Ford cars and trucks from Lewisburg Ford for over 30 years, and I know personally this is the best place to buy a Ford car or truck. Great prices, but there's a whole lot more than that.
It doesn't just stop at price, Toby.
No.
There's other factors to this equation, and it's trade-in allowance, financing, and the experience of how knowledgeable the people are that you're dealing with. And we surpass everybody in all those areas. We always have. We always will. That's why calling us is important.
Do you have that new pickup?
Absolutely. And it's dynamite.
Okay. Lewisburg Ford is your best place to buy a Ford car or truck. What's your toll-free number?
816-444-2300.
Lewisburg Ford or lewisburgford.com.
What if your instincts could pay off? With Robinhood Prediction Markets, you can put your sports IQ to work on the games you know best. It's not you against the house. It's you participating in a live market. Buy or sell your predictions all game long. Trade every play with Robinhood. Visit Robinhood.com/predict. That's Robinhood.com/predict. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
This new year, get started on your next success with University of Maryland Global Campus. Apply by February 11th and get your application fee waived. An accredited state university, UMGC offers online and hybrid classes, along with more than 135 degrees and certificates in fields like business, cybersecurity, healthcare, and more. Gain the skills you need to achieve your career goals. Get your application fee waived through February 11th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chef.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Butler's Heating and Cooling. You've got a stall blocking the right lane southbound 35 just past Lamar. Also still closed. That police activity. Big backups in both directions. 71 southbound as you approach 85th. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
All right, welcome back into the show. My name is Carrington Harrison. Happy to be here with you on this wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. Coming up at the top of the hour, we are going to be joined by Joshua Briscoe. This is the last week for all of our normal football guests. We'll kind of take a break from some of the football guests, and they'll pop back up once we get closer to the combine and off-season stuff. But you know, the football season is over for the Chiefs, so we just kind of have one more week of these guests. I want to play this audio for you guys. I'm imagining this is going to come up with our dear friend Joshua Briscoe. This is Travis Kelce. He was on the New Heights podcast, and he was talking to his brother about what his future could potentially look like.
Trav, you want to tell us all of your personal endeavors?
Yeah, every season ends for me. I put my feet up and I just be a human.
Yeah.
Just being a regular human for a couple weeks, maybe a month or so, and trying to figure out what I'm going to do next in terms of my future in football. You know, I've talked to a few people in the facility already, you know, having the exit meetings and everything, and they know where I stand, at least right now. And there's a lot of love for the game that's still there, and I don't think I'll ever lose that. It's a tough thing to navigate, but at the same time, if my body can heal up and rest up, and I can feel confident that I can go out there and give it another 18, 20, 21 week run, I think I would do it in a heartbeat. So I think right now it's just finding that answer and seeing how the body feels after this game and kind of when it all settles down.
I'm confused. So you're not already coming back? Chris Jones has said that you're coming back. I thought this was already...
Nice. That's why we love Chris. He's very optimistic.
I would say that we are about to enter a holding pattern with Travis Kelce for probably the rest of the NFL playoffs. I don't think this is going to be some daily update, back and forth. Where do you think he's potentially going? I think today is maybe the last day to have some of these conversations and then we'll pick these conversations up, I think, around the Combine. The Combine is sort of the unofficial start of the new year. This is when a lot of free agent deals start to get done. There is not a surprise to me, and it shouldn't be to you guys. Like, when the legal tampering period happens, there's no need for it. A lot of these deals are done. Everybody is at the Combine. Every general manager is there. Every agent is there. So these are not only the agents for the clients who are about to enter the NFL draft, they're also the clients for guys who are already in the league and looking for deals. It is an NFL convention. So deals are getting done. So if you are the Chiefs, I think it's in your best interest to know exactly, hey, what are we doing here? How much money do we have? How much money do we not have? What's our salary cap looking like? Like, Travis Kelce is a free agent, and you are having to now negotiate a free agent contract with him to determine if he is going to come back or not. So I think we're at a little bit of a holding pattern. I don't expect any news to happen between now and the Super Bowl. And when the Super Bowl is over and we completely turn the page and we start asking some of those offseason questions, obviously one of them is going to be, what's the future of Travis Kelce and what is he going to decide to do? So, Rob, we did a little bit of this yesterday, but I want to play the audio for you today in case you missed it. So, Rob, this is our first story, our first People's Court story of the year in 2026. Now, I have no clue if this story is true or not. I'm not hearing the fact finding. I don't care that much about it. But I want to play this for you because at least on my algorithm in my America, this is taken over for the first 7 days of 2026. Listen to this story.
One of my friends is plus size, and they tell her that she has to pay $300 at the door. We all thought we were going to have an expense-free night, so no one wanted to pay for the $300 entry fee. We spent over 2 hours trying to figure out if we're going to split it, can she put on her credit card, whether we're just going to leave, go to another club, like literally just doing everything. And we spent over 2 hours plotting and planning and strategizing. Finally, we're 10 minutes before New Year's Eve, and I personally did not want to spend my New Year's Eve sitting on the curb. So I asked my friend, would you be willing for us to pay for your Uber to go back home so you can watch the ball drop, watch fireworks, and be safe? So that way we can at least go into the club before midnight. She turned to me and says, I'll get in that Uber, but once I do, we are not friends anymore.
All right. We're here now. We got 5 minutes until we get back to very serious things. Let's hash this out. Do you believe this story happened, Rob? Or do you think this is a social media clout chase, interesting scenario? Because I have so many questions. You're telling me your group of women stood outside the club for 2 hours deciding on what you want to do, and the only thing that was the barrier was the money? Doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. If we all came here together and that one of your suggestions is, why don't you go home? I'm doing more than just going home. We're getting in a physical altercation because of this. I'm fighting one of you girls. 100% right here in the street. We're getting into a physical altercation. I have so many questions about this thing. We only got 4 minutes, Rob, to talk about this thing. Now that you have heard the story, they go to the club. It's a group of girls. They think it's going to be free. They find out that girl, a little heavier. The club was about to charge her to get into the club. They're sitting outside debating on what they want to do. What's your verdict? What do you think?
I don't for a minute believe this is real. That's my official stance. I watched the TikTok. The woman says she had everything hooked up for free. It was her and 3 friends. They were going to go to the club together. They then said, hey, plus size woman, I'm sorry. I don't think, by the way, that part of the story is odd to me too. Are clubs charging extra for larger people? I don't know that's a thing. It might be. I don't know. I don't think it is, but whatever. Moving past that. Now, 4 adult women are outside the club and they are pontificating on this for 2 hours. And then she says it's 11:50 and we make our decision. You waited till 11:50 to make the decision?
Hey, the ball about to drop.
And then, hey, we're sending you home so you can watch it on TV. How close was home? You were a 10-minute Uber from home the whole time? Also, I don't want to speak bad about anyone's finances. 4 grown adult women can't pool together $300. It was probably going to cost $300 if you went out regular that night.
So I mean, if everybody's willing to pay, it'd have been $75 a person.
Yeah, none of this story.
$75 a person.
Hey,
hold on though. This is the thing, and
we
this is the
fought
thing.
for 2 hours
Can
about $75.
All right, Rob, can we speak honestly here? It does not surprise me that 4 broke girls went out for New Year's Eve. It is not. That part does not surprise me in the least bit. We think we're cute. We think the club is going to accommodate us and do everything for us. Now, if we really want to be shallow and vain, which the club is, we know you saw in the movie Knocked Up. In the movie Knocked Up, that's real. Are you cute enough to get in here? They're going to judge you to get in the club.
That's fair. That happens. They don't charge you. They don't charge you. Like,
they made Homegirl wait in line in the movie Knocked Up.
They did. They didn't charge
Doorman.
What did it? I don't know what the cost was in the movie. I don't think it was. Hey, it's $300 to get in line and pay $300.
It was a New Year's Eve.
That number just sounds. It sounds made up to me.
It wasn't New Year's Eve.
And again, it does not surprise me that broke people took the hookup. Like, there have been times I've gone to places that are way nicer than my paycheck because the hookup has existed.
I don't want to hang out with no girls that ain't got $75.
By
I
the
don't
way,
want to hang out with you.
An Uber in Miami is probably costing near $75. At midnight in a surge pricing in a club area, you're paying $75 to send her home. Pay $75 to get her in.
And Rob, you know what? I'll even show you a picture of the girl in question that we're talking about. The girl in question, she was cool to me. I'll show you a picture of the gal. The gal, you know how it is on social media. One person says something, now the other person now has to respond, and now I'm in this eco cycle now of the video and people's opinion on the video. I don't care if it's real or fake. It's got me hooked. I wanted to hear the other girl's side of the story. I wanted to hear what she had to say. I would have fought these. I'm serious. I would have fought these other girls.
I want to know.
Something also tells me that the girl that they kicked out, she's the one that probably had the car or had just more money or something. Like the whole thing is so odd to me. Everything about it's odd.
It's not. The part that doesn't add up the most to me is when we found out we had to pay for our friend to get in. We talked about it for 2 hours. This conversation,
bro. You know what they were trying to get somebody to cash app them.
Maybe if you were pre-gaming and alcohol's involved, a regular conversation goes from 20 minutes to 40. I get that. It took 2 hours to figure out how we're going to get in. The answer's simple. Pool together $300. Also, leave. I don't believe the story. I don't believe it.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to know we had a little bit of free time. I promise you we're going to get back to very serious Chiefs things. Briscoe's going to join us in studio. We'll talk about what went wrong. We'll talk about Kelsey. We'll talk about Nagy. We'll read some of your texts. We'll take some phone calls. Why don't we hang out with Joshua Briscoe to kick off the new year? Keep it right here, it's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on Kansas City's only FM sports station, 96.5, The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5, The Fan.
Big problem now, 35. It's going to be northbound just before Mission. Just know you're dealing with a grass fire. A lot of onlooker delay. 2 right lanes are blocked. Again, 35 northbound before Mission. Also, a stall 35 southbound past Lamar. Scoot to the left, right lane blocked. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5, The Fan.
Car wreck? Get the money you deserve. Mike's got this.
Paid for, client portrayal, and endorsement. Choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
After my car wreck, there was a lot I didn't know.
I do know. If you've been hurt in a car wreck, call me. I've got this.
Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, hockey fans. Now with BetMGM, you can win a share of $10,000 in bonus bets when your anytime goal scorer nets 3. Enter BetMGM's Hat Trick Jackpot all season long for your chance to win some major bonus bets. It's easy. Just log in and opt into the promotion. Then make an anytime score bet on any hockey game of at least $10. If your player of choice scores 3 goals instead of just 1, you'll win your share of the $10K in bonus bets. There's nothing quite like watching a game with a hat trick, especially when it means you can win a share of $10,000 in bonus bets. Ready to shoot your shot? Download the app today. BetMGM. Make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards or bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Start the new year by moving, not hurting. If joint pain's holding you back, then listen up. There's a way to get real relief without surgery, without downtime, and without putting your life on pause. QC Kinetics delivers regenerative treatments that actually help your body repair the areas causing you pain. those achy knees, hips, shoulders, your back, wherever it hurts. Instead of facing an invasive operation that sidelines you for months, these treatments happen right in the office and you go about your day. Skip the 3 to 6 months of recovery. Skip the pain. Skip the invasive surgery. Imagine this instead. You're moving stronger and better and planning the year you want. Game-changing regenerative treatments from QC Kinetics. January is supposed to be your clean slate, so make it one. Stop managing the pain and start solving it with QC Kinetics. Call now for your free consultation. 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. Off 435 in State Line and in Gladstone, it's QC Kinetics.
Doug. Here we have the Limu Emu in its natural habitat, helping people customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Fascinating. It's accompanied by his natural ally, Doug.
Limu, is that guy with the binoculars watching us?
Cut the camera. They see us.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Men, the new year is here, and if you're like many of us, you're ready to improve your health. But if you're feeling low energy, not sleeping well, or not seeing results in the gym, keeping that resolution can be tough. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if those symptoms sound familiar, we can likely help. They often point to low testosterone, and treating low T is what we do. But this year, we're also helping men go further with 4 targeted body composition plans featuring growth hormone peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more, designed to boost energy, support metabolism, enhance recovery, and accelerate fat loss. With our low T treatments combined with our body composition programs, most men notice real improvements, more energy, better focus, improved sleep, stronger workouts, and often a renewed sex drive as well. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the same day, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or visit heartlandmenshealth.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Wildcat fans, this is Wyatt Thompson. Tune in all season long to the play-by-play of the 2025 football season, right here on your home for K-State Athletics, 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station. Welcome back to The Drive on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. Tune in on game day to hear them 3 hours before kickoff and immediately following the final whistle. Here's the new pregame and postgame host for the Chiefs Radio Network.
Kansas City wins the game!
Joshua Briscoe.
Right now, we are happy to be joined in studio by a man I would never leave outside the club. Joshua Briscoe joins us on the show today. Briscoe, I see you shining, man. You got the gold chain coming on, man. You got the nice sweater and the hat.
It's the season finale, Carrington. I had to bring it.
I ain't never seen you decked out like this before. Where are you going after this? You and your lady going out to dinner? What's the vibe?
Right back home with a $0 cover charge is what I intend on paying. I'll go places for free, nowhere that might charge me out of nowhere on the way in. You guys just did 30 excellent minutes of radio. I was listening on the way in from BK to the end of the hour. You guys have been on top of it today.
Would you have said MIZ if you were Rob for the 1587 prime?
Well, yeah, but I don't care about any of that enough to get into Rob's shoes. Like, I don't know. I would say Rock Chalk if I was you. I'd say MIZ if I was Rob. I'm not. I don't have any kind of collegiate affiliation that's strong enough for me to not say 2 words for dinner. You know?
Okay. Is there something that you do feel passionate enough about on the other side of things where you feel like I got to put my foot down? Like, I don't know what that thing is for you. I did know you're not a big college sports guy. But maybe you're a big enough Chiefs fan and you're just like, you know what? I'm not committing to excellence.
I mean, you're saying like, would I like wear a Broncos jersey or something? Like, there's a place where I would draw the line eventually. But if you're like, hey, Josh, I'll give you $500,000. You know, I'll put on the Raiders shoulder pads, I guess, for a trip to the black hole if I have to. I don't know. I mean, there's a number for everything, right?
There absolutely is a number. So this is where I would like to
more than $300, but
this is where I would like to begin. I'm sure you listened to the press conference a couple of days ago with Andy Reid. I think Herbie was the one that asked the question. Shout out to Herbie T.O.P. He does fantastic work. He asked, I think, the most pressing question to ask Brett Veach or Andy Reid. What happened? Like, we can ask a million different questions.
Yeah.
You guys were Super Bowl contending team. You then became the most disappointing team in 2026 in the National Football League. What happened? If somebody recognizes you out and you and your lady are sitting there and they come up to you and say, hey, I don't want to bother you. I just want to ask you this real quick question. What went wrong with the Chiefs? What's your answer?
The first thing I would say is if I knew with confidence, I'd probably be over in the Arrowhead facilities right now having like a really important meeting, bringing all the pieces together. I do think that the reason that it's all kind of unsatisfying is because it is a complex answer where you did have some things go the way that you wanted to, like the offensive line ends up being an unbelievable silver lining of how the year panned out, but you have an offense that never really finds its footing either with an identity schematically. Matt Nagy got asked a lot over the course of the year, like, all right, what's the offense's identity now? I remember that like halfway through the season. I don't think they were ever able to establish what the offensive identity was. I think that the wide receivers, guys you expected a step forward from, at best stagnated. And defensively, Steve Spagnuolo had a good season, but I don't know if you saw that chart from a few days ago kind of showing like scheme versatility. And on one end of the spectrum, the Houston Texans basically just line up and they say, our guys are better than your guys. The Chiefs are on the other end of the spectrum where they're just doing crazy stuff all the time to try to make up for the fact that the talent, especially in the pass rush, just wasn't there this year. So those are the places that I point to as sort of an offense that never really found its footing through the air or on the ground, and a defense that just didn't have the horses in the pass rush to make them a very good they might have been an above average defense for good chunks of the season, but those real elite moments were very few and far between.
My answer for the why has been this. I think the Chiefs still thought it was 2022 offensively, where you could just dime a dozen a running back. You remember that used to be a thing.
Yep.
Why spend any resources on running back? You can just find one in the 6th and 7th round. They're just as good as all the other ones. That time is not right now in the National Football League. The league has shifted in a way. Teams are not spending the number 1 overall pick, but they're spending second-round picks. They're spending money in free agency to go get yourself a running back. I think that's a really, really important part of things. I also think on the defensive line, one of the worst things as a consumer is to pay for something and then not feel like you got the value for what you are paying for. You're paying Chris Jones top 5 defensive money in the league. He had 7 sacks this season, and we question effort multiple times. George Karlaftis just got a big second contract. He had 6 sacks this season and was a non-factor for most of the year. Man, their problem started at the line of scrimmage. They couldn't run the football effectively. They couldn't get after the other team's quarterback. And when you add those two things up, man, other than we have a really good quarterback, there just wasn't a lot that the Chiefs could rely on this season.
That, especially offensively, to start there, yeah, Patrick Mahomes was the thing that you can rely on. And I think it's kind of even funny. I don't want to way overextend on this and then have people rightly point out that like there were lots of other injuries by the end of the year and everything. But even without Mahomes at the end there, even before Gardner Minshew was injured, and then with the Oladokin and brief Shane Buechele experience, even then the times that the offense seemed to find something was like Chris Oladokin breaking structure and then doing something wacky to Hollywood Brown or whatever. Okay, well, there's a little bit of a spark. None of the meat and potatoes of the offense were there reliably. So whenever it's something... anything that doesn't require Patrick Mahomes to be superhuman, we know he can be. He was at times this season. He's superhuman more frequently than any other quarterback in football, but that's not sustainable in a consistent way. Last year, they found some sustainability in the running game by it just being barely good enough and Patrick Mahomes being good enough to go ahead and nickel and dime your way through. That's the other part that's not very satisfying because you can't fix this. But last year, they got pretty lucky at some key moments. This year, they got very unlucky at some key moments. And in the NFL, where I know people get tired of hearing, the press conference of where we're just a player or two off, we just need to clean some things up. Everybody's a player or two off in the NFL right now. Everybody on this side of the Jets, like the Raiders opened the season with a win over the New England Patriots and closed the season beating the Chiefs and did nothing in the games between. There really is such a fine line, but I think the Chiefs... they ultimately contributed to their small margins because of some of those missteps and because of some of the places where you did spend that money. You have spent resources, like especially the defensive line. Ashton Gelati had a fine rookie season. Omar Norman-Lott might be a fine player, and obviously just losing him to injury pretty much the entire year, that's not his fault, doesn't make him a bad pick, but it's another place where you put in a lot of resources and you just did not get the return.
Right now, we got Joshua Briscoe in studio with the Chiefs Radio Network. I hope, if anything, this gets them out of the mentality of, we got 15, so we're good. Like, they have a phenomenal quarterback, don't get me wrong. And they ain't the only team in the NFL that has a good quarterback. Right. So you got to be able to rely on different things. And I feel like the Chiefs just kind of got themselves in this loop of, well, it's okay. Patrick Mahomes will solve it. Where I think what happened is they just had too many holes on the boat. Eventually, the boat is just going to sink. You can't not run the football, have questionable wide receivers, have this thing happen, and then think that Mahomes is special enough to be able to cover up every single problem that you have. And just this year, everything that could go wrong really did end up going wrong. This team, think about how much time we spent a year ago talking about them solving the left tackle.
Yes.
That issue still didn't get solved this year. They had their left tackle miss a month, then get hurt for another month of the year. The guy that you signed in the offseason to end up playing left tackle ended up playing right tackle. Some of you aren't sure if you want him playing right tackle. Like, in a lot of ways, we kind of found ourselves in the exact same situation with the same problems we were discussing in 2025.
And that's, I wanted to mention the O-line again, because that was one of the other philosophical things that I kind of bought into, and I still kind of believe in, but not at the level that we saw come through this year. The idea was, hey, look, if you get Patrick Mahomes and a real starting five in front of him, everything else will come together. You can work with whatever your pass catching weapons are, and the theory this year, obviously, was, hey, well, as soon as Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy and Hollywood Brown get out there together, you've already got Travis Kelce in the mix. You have the offensive line answered for the long term. Then the offense is good to go. And while obviously Simmons' two absences, midseason at the end post-injury, really hurts the sample size for him, I do think they have their left tackle. They clearly have, I think, their left guard, center, and right guard. And I think Jalen Moore and Esapole as a combo at right tackle, one of them can be a starting caliber guy next year. I feel okay about that. Probably Jalen Moore for my money still, but, Esapole, nice story. And like real develop, I don't mean that flippantly. I just think he's probably your sixth lineman right now. But even when you did have that unit together in its most ideal form of those front five, it still wasn't enough. And that to me is why I again am left frustrated with those. The everybody's got to eat thing was fun until it got on the field, and then it just never came to fruition that way. So when you end up in that space, when these receivers, you talk about investing in the position, Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy as second and first round picks, those are real investments. Hollywood Brown coming back with a decent 1-year deal, that's a real investment there. And obviously Travis Kelce is built into the DNA of this team over this last decade. So all of that to say, I think that it could be a combination of how those receivers specifically did or didn't advance this year, and then also I think you can still say Xavier Worthy had a disappointing season, and I still would have liked to have seen him used differently.
Right now, we're joined in studio by Joshua Briscoe with the Chiefs Radio Network. I'm really curious to get your thoughts on Xavier Worthy from this perspective. Yesterday, when I talked about it, the overwhelming sentiment was, you can't say anything about it. He was hurt for most of the year. Okay, fine. No one can then answer to me how your wide receiver has been hurt since basically week 1, why he played then in the Titans game and didn't shut things down, why he also then played in the Broncos game when the Chiefs had absolutely nothing to play for. Like, if you're hurt, then you're hurt. Shut Xavier Worthy down, have him go have surgery, and start getting ready for the offseason so you could be there. That's obviously not the decision that happened. Xavier Worthy is one of the more disappointing players that the Chiefs had this year. He still played in 13 games. He only played in 100 fewer snaps this year than he did last year.
Interesting.
That's basically 2 games worth of snaps. You still got a lot of Xavier Worthy on the field. And for you to spend a first-round pick on a guy and for him to give you 548 receiving yards and 1 touchdown, if you think he was hurt, if you don't think he's hurt, if you agree or you don't disagree, you need a whole lot more from Xavier Worthy than you got this past season.
And, look, he was hurt. And I'm guessing there will be surgery for that shoulder this offseason. And I don't know the extent of the ankle. You could see the ankle bothering him, though, for real stretches of the season. So I do think that is true, that is a part of the picture for what happened in year 2 for Xavier Worthy. I also think the rest of that can remain true as well, where you say, if you're on the field and you're playing through all of this, this got a lot of people riled up, and understandably so. It'd be nice to see a little bit more sideline awareness in year 2 after that was a real story in year 1. It would be nice to find, and again, I think you can point back to the coaching staff and his usage. I'd like to see him living more in the intermediate. A guy who was not disappointing this year, Tyquan Thornton, basically got sent to the shadow realm when Xavier Worthy came back. Tyquan Thornton was probably your best straight downfield deep threat this year, and I didn't see nearly enough of Xavier Worthy over the middle of the field and in the intermediate. That to me is a usage problem, and I don't know. Again, I'm not absolving anyone of blame here because we've talked about the wide receiver room plenty and the coaching and the development at that position. I don't know, and there's probably an answer to this somewhere on this side of Tyreek Hill, but I don't know when you can say the Chiefs really got the most out of this wide receiver. Now, there are guys, obviously, who went on and disappeared. You got something from McCole Hardman and something from, although Demarcus Robinson went on to continue doing things, and Sky Moore's having a better time in San Francisco than he was here at the end. I don't think that's like a coaching issue. I think he needed a change of scenery. But I do think it's okay to question how Worthy was used, what they're asking him to do, and how he himself didn't take advantage of some of those opportunities this year. I think it's disappointing, and also I find myself, I think, probably holding more Xavier Worthy stock than most Chiefs fans right now, because he will be a top 3 story going in the training camp for me next year, presuming that there are some changes philosophically, however that comes in the offensive coaching staff, if that's coordinator, position coach, if that's other, again, philosophical things that they might want to evolve. Next year is going to end up being a spotlight year for Xavier Worthy either way.
This is where I may be more critical of Xavier Worthy than maybe the average Chiefs fan is. Patrick Mahomes seemed to have better downfield chemistry with Demarcus Robinson than he appears to have with Xavier Worthy. He appeared to have more downfield chemistry with Tyquan Thornton this past season than he had with Xavier Worthy.
Yep.
Man, after 2 years and you playing 31 games, for us to not go into the 2026 season feeling like that is a true and legitimate downfield weapon, because it honestly is like a 3-leg parlay. A, you need enough time to make the downfield throw. Right. Xavier Worthy needs to be open, and the pass also has to be good for him to catch it. Man, they didn't really hit many of those over the last couple of years and it's not like there's a shortage of them trying to take chances to trying to get it. So if he's not going to be the big down the field, big play receiver, and none of us think he's like the route you up, middle of the field kind of guy, man, what is Xavier Worthy's role in this offense? What can you rely on from him offensively as you try to build this thing? And there's no reason for you to have a Mahomes in the prime of his career and you are missing the playoffs.
I don't want to compare these two guys absolutely 1-to-1, but I think that there are enough comparisons that it's fair at this point. McCole Hardman, fast as anything, never a downfield, stretch the field 9 route threat. That was never what his game ended up being. And you obviously, you move up to get Worthy in the first round. You want him to end up being more of a well-rounded receiver than McCole Hardman ended up being. And frankly, I think McCole Hardman gets probably pushed a little bit too far down in the pantheon of this last 5-6 years of Chiefs memories. He was involved in so many of them. But what you say the route you up intermediate kind of thing. I would love to see Xavier Worthy's role next year be Hollywood Brown's role this year. Like give him that responsibility and put him in the intermediate. Let Tyquan Thornton be the guy that safeties have to respect pushing down the field. I think there is more to get out of Xavier Worthy there, but we are still, to your point, we are still lowering the expectations a little bit now, trying to figure out, okay, so what does he look like as a number 2-3 weapon? And the 1-2 fringe seems to have kind of gone by the wayside.
Let's say that in 7 weeks, let's say that you see a tweet come across the timeline that the Chiefs have agreed to a 1-year, $13.5 million contract with Travis Kelce. Are you for it or against it?
I'm happy. I'm for it in that moment. And I heard you talking to BK last hour, and you can ask me all the same questions you asked him, and I'm afraid I'm going to give you pretty much all the same answers. I thought he was absolutely on top of it, where you are going to have to find ways to continue to invest in this offense around you on a variety of levels. That can't be at the expense of the running back room next year, or just relying on Kareem Hunt, Brashard Smith, and some 6th round drafted running back this year. That can't be the strategy. Travis Kelce cannot be your number 1, or he should not be your number 1 or number 2 weapon in the offense next year. But with how he was talking in that New Heights clip, I do feel like it's at least still a coin flip. It's at least still hanging in the air to figure out, if he wants to come back, I think he's probably going to be a top 5 tight end in the NFL again, like he was this year. The interesting thing will be what that means to him, because Jason Kelce was a top 5 center in the NFL when he walked away, but I don't think he felt like 1-1. I don't feel like he felt like he was going to be able to be that guy consistently going forward. Travis Kelce will be a better tight end than Noah Gray, or he'll be a top 32 tight end until he's 40. I don't know if that's good enough for him to return, but even at a price point that would hurt a little bit, and at a similar number to what he played at this year, I think you take Travis Kelce back if he's got more in the tank to give.
I am not for Travis Kelce coming back. This would be a major question that I would have, and they haven't been able to answer it for the last couple of years. What's Travis Kelce's role? Because if you were telling me going into 2026 that your best and most reliable offensive player is a 37-year-old tight end, there is a clear ceiling on how great your offense can be. Name the teams that you guys think have really good offenses. Their offense is not built around a 30-year-old. Their offense is built around Jackson Smith-Njigba, who's the best receiver in the league. It's built around Puka Nacua, who's a top 3 receiver in the National Football League. It's built around Jahmyr Gibbs. Like, if you were saying who are the dynamic, explosive offenses in the league, they're built around offensive, explosive players. If the Chiefs could get to the point where Kelce's a true role player and he's only getting 70 targets, then I'd maybe have a different feeling about it. But they have a dependency on Travis Kelce. He is a crutch for them. And this organization has to be thinking younger, cheaper, and much more explosive than I think that they are.
I don't disagree with the elements of that. The problem is, okay, so now Travis Kelce is gone. How are you filling that space? And is this a team that's in a place to do that right now? The Puka comp I actually really like because Devontae Adams is 33. Devontae Adams is not their number one weapon. He is not their number one receiver. Puka Nacua is. But Devontae Adams makes life easier on Puka. He makes life easier on Matt Stafford. He makes life easier on Sean McVay. And he was an absolute animal in the red zone this year. So I do not think it would have been good business for the Rams to build their entire offense around Devontae Adams. I don't think it would be good business for the Chiefs to build their entire offense around Travis Kelce again next year. I think the crutch thing is also fair, but it's not Travis Kelce's fault. And I don't think his absence fixes that. I think his presence, much like Mahomes, and Chris Jones to a degree as well, the presence of those guys can plaster over other holes in the wall. It can make you look away from the pieces you've missed to this point. But if you take me in the next year and you say, yeah, Travis Kelce's gone and the offense is Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice and a free agent you're not that thrilled about and Jalen Royals, I'm going to feel worse about that offense than I would if it was those same guys and Travis Kelce there. Again, I do think you want to continue to build around him. And the problem is that Rashee Rice didn't become Amon-Ra St. Brown this year. He didn't become Puka Nacua this year. And that's a very high bar. But he wasn't a number one wide receiver in the modern NFL. Xavier Worthy wasn't really a real number 2. And I don't know that Hollywood was real number 3 for that matter. Again, I think the entire wide receiving room falling short there was a problem. Noah Gray's not ready to be the number 1 tight end in an NFL offense either. So maybe you like Kenyon Sadiq enough that you have a 1-to-1 replacement there. I'm cool with Carnell Tate at 9 if he's on the board. I have a yearning for those Ohio State wide receivers. I'm very open to that. That's true for me with or without Travis Kelce. I guess I would say I would take Travis Kelce back next year, happily, and that will change very little if I'm Brett Veach about how I approach the offseason. You're happy to have him back if he comes back, but you need to prepare as if he's not going to be there, even when you know that he is.
What changes would you like to see the Chiefs make?
Well, I mean, I think we're going to end up getting something in the next couple of weeks on the coaching side. There's so much smoke around Matt Nagy now between the contract reportedly being like him essentially being a free agent now, having the head coaching interviews. I don't think he's going to get a head coaching job, just purely guessing there. I do think that the Tennessee connection is too obvious to ignore. And again, I kind of agreed with some of at least what BK was saying about how Nagy has gotten a lot more blame for the things that have gone wrong than he ever gets credit for things that he helped get right. I think there's truth within that. But all of that seems like there's going to be a change at offensive coordinator. I guess I want that. I do want to see something rejuvenated in this offense. I would like to see something refreshed there. But who they hire is going to determine to me how realistic even that is. I think the Cliff Kingsbury angle is fascinating. And if there's going to be a true outside voice, not Mike Kafka, not Eric Bieniemy, guys who have been in the building and left and would return again, it seems like Kingsbury is probably, I don't want to say he's the only choice, the only realistic option for that, because I think there are other good and interesting options. You guys mentioned Shieldhouse earlier, who's just like a very fun one to think about, trying to get a little bit of that McVay tree in with a local guy and all of that. but I just don't think that's really how we've seen Andy Reid operate his coaching staffs. He's filled his staff with people who he knows and trusts and who knows how he works and all of that. So I would be fascinated, and I think I'd be pretty excited if it was Kingsbury, because that seems like it would be a Mahomes phone call of like, hey, this is what we need here. I don't think there's going to be some like big power struggle or whatever. I don't think we're in Aaron Rodgers territory or anything like that. But if Pat was like, I really think what we need here is let's get Cliff in. I know him. I'm vouching for him. You guys have to make this relationship work. But if Mahomes really endorsed that, I think I'd be happy to see what the fruits of that would be. So that's where I start. No, that's not personnel or roster or anything. But and Nate Taylor talked about this on our show yesterday. You know, if Kingsbury's coming in from the outside, he's probably bringing some of his own position coaches with him, which I think would give you a refreshed look at a variety of spots. If it's just Eric Bieniemy coming back, it's still Andy Reid's coaching staff around. So, and again, I really don't enjoy like showing up and firing coaches or whatever. But I think if you're the running backs coach or wide receivers coach for this team, I just need you to make the case to me as to what you have done to get the most out of your players over these last couple of years. And I don't know what the argument for that would be.
Yeah, that's why, at least for me, I would say, and player changes and coaching changes are two. We're not in the player changing part of the NFL schedule. Coaching changes to me start with three things. Number one, offensive coordinator, everything that you just said. Wide receiver coach. You got to figure out how to get the most out of Rashee Rice and the most out of Xavier Worthy. No one would argue that you have done that so far with either one of those guys. And Connor Embry, that is not what he is doing. Also, special teams coach. You can't be the senior position guy that Dave Tobe is.
Assistant head coach, too.
Watch your special teams deteriorate right before our eyes and continue. Yeah. They don't get big kick returns. They don't get good punt returns. Their kicker was 70% of himself this past year. You got to turn your special teams into a weapon. And it felt like too often it was a liability throughout the course of the season. We'll continue to go through this coming up on the other side. I do want to give people a chance to ask you questions. 913-586-7965. Why don't we do this? Why don't we go through some of the AFC questions as we are heading into the AFC playoffs? We got Joshua Briscoe in studio for the hour. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The playoffs are here. More specifically, the NFL wildcard round is here, and FanDuel is turning on playoff mode. All customers get a profit boost pack during every NFL playoff game day. Each game day during the wildcard round, you'll find a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts waiting for you on the app. So whether you're like me and you think the Patriots are going to go all the way, or you think Jacksonville is going to win in this first round of playoffs, you can take your shot on an upset or build a parlay that fits the moment. Then apply your profit boost and go for even bigger payouts while you get the playoffs rolling. Visit FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and grab your profit boost pack for every NFL playoff game day. FanDuel is an official sports betting partner of 96.5 The Fan. Must be 21 and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Bonus issue is non-withdrawable profit boot tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, it's Cody and Gold, and you guys know Centric Training is where your IT career starts, and the year has started. Have you?
Maybe you were an occupational support specialist, an operations trainer. Maybe just working in sales or outside and you're tired of it. You could have a new career in as little as 4 months to start this new year.
IT jobs are in demand, and Centric's enrolling right now. You can get hands-on training, industry certifications, career placement support over at Centric, and the sooner you start, the sooner you move forward. Visit Centric.com or call today. Centric Training, your IT career starts here.
Don't let winter catch you off guard. Keep your family cozy with a $69 heating system tune-up from Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter. We have pros available 7 days a week to keep your system running at peak efficiency, helping prevent costly breakdowns, lower energy bills, and keep your home warm all winter long. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 5-star reviews are great reasons to trust Hamilton. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions.
License number 2025-11121.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Guys, thanks for helping me carry my Christmas tree.
Zoe, this thing weighs a ton.
Drewski, lift with your legs, man.
Santa! Did you get my letter?
He's talking to you, Bridges.
I'm not that.
Of course he did. Right, Santa?
You know, my elf Drewski here, he handles the nice list.
An elf? I'm 6'3". What everyone wants is iPhone 17. And at T-Mobile, you can get it on them. That center stage front camera is amazing for group selfies. Right, Mrs. Claus?
I'm Mrs. Claus's much younger sister. And at T-Mobile, there's no trade-in needed when you switch, so you can keep your old phone.
Or give it as a gift.
And the best part, you can make the switch to T-Mobile from your phone in just 15 minutes.
Guys, my side of the tree is slipping.
Timber!
The holidays are better at T-Mobile. Switch in just 15 minutes and get iPhone 17 on us with no trade-in needed.
With 24 monthly bill credits for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Finance agreement, 256 gigs, $830. Eligible port in a new line. $100 plus a month plan with auto pay plus taxes and fees required. Check out in 15 minutes or less per line. Visit T-Mobile.com.
This season, enjoy stress-free comfort with easy booking and trusted service from Anthony. Save up to $4,500 on a new high-efficiency HVAC system. Schedule today at AnthonyPHCE.com.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
Okay, still working the problem police incident. It is actually an investigation that continues from earlier. That was a road rage shooting resulting in a death. So police are there, 71 southbound, still closed at 85th. You can get off there, but it is still causing big delays in the area. 435 southbound as you approach 70, scoot to the left through here. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's George Karlaftis from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome to The Drive with CDOT on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right. I feel like I have to say something. Yes, I am aware of it. We will talk about it at 5 o'clock. That is all I can say right now. I see the text line going crazy. You know we don't shy away from having these conversations. I have seen it. I am very much aware of it, and we will talk about it at 5 o'clock. That is the best I can do right now, given our situation. But I promise you in 30 minutes, when Briscoe is gone, because Briscoe, I know who you work for. I know. We will talk about it coming up in 30 minutes.
You're a pro.
So let's talk about the playoffs, and I'm really interested to get your thoughts on this. I think every single team could win in the first round of the AFC playoffs.
Oh, good. I thought you were going to say you thought every single team could win the Super Bowl, and I was going to say that I don't think the Broncos can, which is very funny to me because they're not in the first round of the playoffs. We're aligned here, I think.
I agree with you. I even think Pittsburgh could win.
I agree.
Like, I understand it's the playoffs.
Yes.
But if you told me on Monday Night Football that the Texans went on the road and lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers
16-10,
nobody would be like, oh my, that would be normal NFL any given Sunday. I think that literally, other than Carolina, I think that every team could win in the first round of the NFL playoffs. I don't know if we ever feel that way heading into it. This is as even of a playoff that it feels like. It is as parity-filled of a playoff that I can remember. It's going to be a really exciting next 3 weeks as we try to figure out who's going to the Super Bowl.
I agree with you 100%, and the only team we don't believe in beat the other team a month and a week ago. The Panthers beat the Rams a little more than a month ago, and they're the only real underdog.
And I think a lot of people like me, that's when you kind of like, hey, is Carolina kind of good? Like, should we be taking Carolina seriously? Now, they're a team with a losing record, but we all have seen, I mean, this would not be the first time that a losing team made the playoffs. I mean, the Marshawn Lynch, Tim Tebow. This is not the first time that an 8-8, 8-9 team went to the playoffs and shocked everybody. So I'm not picking Carolina, but you're right. You cannot be surprised if the Rams go on the East Coast and lay an egg. You cannot be surprised.
It's totally on the table, but it's the least on the table of any of these 6 games. And I'm completely with you on the AFC side, where if you said, look, what do the Texans do the best? They have a hell of a defense with a killer pass rush. Aaron Rodgers is throwing the ball in like 1.2 seconds anyway. So, I mean, the pass rush, I'm sure, will hit Aaron Rodgers at some point, and it's going to make him look like the 40-whatever-year-old quarterback that he is. You're going to go, oh, man, this is like elder abuse. But if you get a quick firing version of Aaron Rodgers, the ball's coming out before that pass rush has a chance to derail your long developing plays, which is what they're so good at doing. I think I would pick the Texans in that game, but I would not be at all stunned, to your point, if they go into Pittsburgh on Monday night wild card round football and it's a 20-some point total in that game and the Steelers win in a low scoring win. I'm totally with you on that. I think Jags-Bills probably has my Super Bowl pick after one of those teams wins.
Interesting.
Or at least my AFC pick, I guess, to nitpick there.
I'm taking the Patriots. That's who I have.
And I think that right now, if you made me choose, I think the Patriots make the most sense as your choice from here. Here's my hottest take from the AFC this season. I like this take. It makes the right people angry, and I'm going to stand by it because I don't think they're going to prove me wrong. I'm more impressed by what the Chargers did this year than I am of what the Broncos did this year. The Broncos are the 1 seed. The Chargers are the 7. But the Chargers got to this point without 2 all-pro caliber tackles. They did it without their 3rd tackle for huge swaths of the season. And I think finally, I hope, Justin Herbert has gotten to the point where everyone can just sort of respect how good he is at quarterbacking. And there was a text a minute ago about Ladd McConkey, who obviously excellent wide receiver.
He had a disappointing year this season.
And his weapons around him. It's not like Justin Herbert got a true solidified number 1 wide receiver that just made his life easier. So I've been impressed by the Chargers, but I think the Patriots, I think that I'm more confident in the Patriots winning that game than I am in either the Jags or the Bills. And then I think whatever the Jags or Bills do from there is going to be fascinating. The Patriots thing that I love is that they obviously they are the most associated brand with Super Bowls in the last 20 years, but it's a completely new version of the Patriots. This is the first time doing it for Drake May, but I think we all agree that Mike Vrabel is like a legitimately impactful head coach. Like, I don't know how many head coaches you think really, really move the needle, but if you said, hey, you know what? Mike Vrabel's kind of got the Dan Campbell thing going on, and a guy who can talk to Stephon Diggs in the way that he talks to Stephon Diggs because he's been there. I really do think the Patriots have built something legitimate. It's just weird that we haven't seen their quarterback do it, but that's going to be the case for almost this entire playoff slate. Unless you really believe in Jalen Hurts or this has to be the year for Josh Allen, you're asking questions about almost every quarterback in the playoff picture.
I want to read to you a series of tweets. This is from Benjamin Albright, who covers the Broncos. This was from the Broncos-Chargers game on Sunday. Fans are not happy with the Broncos' offense in this game. Another Broncos media member, Sean Payton, and everyone within the Broncos said that this week would be treated exactly like a playoff game because the number 1 seed was on the line. If today's offense against the Chargers is an indication of what to expect in the postseason, then the Broncos won't be playing very long. Someone else tweeted out, the Broncos being booed when they are 12 minutes from clinching the 1 seed is probably a fitting metaphor for this season.
Yes.
I believe that the NFL is really popular. I believe in the ratings in the National Football League. This made me question them. 21.1 million people watched the Chiefs and Broncos game. That's what Amazon told me. How can you be shocked at their offense?
Yeah, right.
Like,
right.
I don't know how you can sit there on Christmas. Your kid just got a new toy. No, go upstairs. I'm watching Chiefs Broncos.
We're dialed into Chiefs Broncos.
I don't know how you can watch Chiefs Broncos and the next week be like, man, you know what? I just didn't see this coming with the Broncos offense. Their offense stinks. We know that.
And they've been on primetime games a number of times. The Broncos got island games this year. This isn't like, there are a couple teams like the Panthers. Hey, if you haven't really watched the Panthers this year, I get it, because they've not been on your TV all that often unless you've really sought out Carolina Panther football. I've obviously, being in the AFC West and everything, I watched more Broncos football this year than I cared to. And I never left those games impressed with their offense. And it seems like their defense has maybe lost a little bit of that extra edge here down the stretch. I'm totally with you. I think that the Broncos fan base or even the media members there playing it like, man, I'm starting to get pretty baffled by how this Broncos offense just can't get it done anymore. That you can't believe that. You've covered it. Like one of them there at the end was that it's a fitting way to summarize the season. That I think they can keep their credential, because they got the 1 seed, but you're getting booed off the field offensively. That is this Broncos season. And again, not to just connect it straight back to last year's Chiefs, because I don't think it's a 1-to-1 by any means. But when we talk about the Chiefs getting lucky last year and getting unlucky this year, the Broncos got lucky this year and a bunch of times. You got to be good to get lucky. Being good makes you luckier. It's not a one or the other thing. It's not a binary deal. But the Broncos got every one of those late game breaks. They won so many frustrating fourth quarter comebacks where their opponent wilts. They do just enough. And that can be impressive on a week-to-week basis, but it does not build a resume to me that makes me believe in you winning a Super Bowl.
You know what I think changed the season and no one's really talked a lot about? The Broncos losing J.K. Dobbins was a much bigger loss than I think we assumed at the time. I think the expectation was that, R.J. Harvey's just going to be there. R.J. Harvey's averaging 3.8, 3.9 yards per carry. He might have been fine if that was your number 2 option, but now he's your number 1 back. I know I might sound like a broken record. I will continue. If you can't run the ball in 2026, your team cannot go to the Super Bowl. You don't have to be the best rushing team in the league. Right. It's got to be part of your offense. It has to be a part of your formula and what you do. And the Broncos clearly struggle with running the football. They're not effective at it. So it breaks down the rest of your offense when you're so reliant on Bo Nix to go out there and do everything for your offense. That might be okay with Patrick Mahomes. Bo Nix needs that structure. He needs to be able to turn around and hand it off 20, 25 times. That's just not the offense that the Broncos have. We'll go to the text line, 913-586-7965. I do want to play random question time with Joshua Briscoe.
Can't wait.
We'll do some Chiefs questions. We'll throw in some regular questions. If you want to ask Briscoe a question, we'll do that. We'll reset things at 5 o'clock. And yes, I've seen it. We'll talk about it at 5 o'clock. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan.
The NFL wildcard round is here, and FanDuel is turning on playoff mode. All customers get a profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. Each game day during the wildcard round, you'll find a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts waiting for you in the app. Pick the matchups you believe in. I'm starting to become a believer in this Jacksonville Jaguars team because Trevor Lawrence is playing some better football of late. I'll be playing them in the wildcard round. Take your shot on the upset or build a parlay that fits the moment. Then apply your profit boosts and go for even bigger payouts while the playoffs get rolling. So visit FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and grab your profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. FanDuel is an official sports betting partner of 96.5 The Fan. Must be 21 and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
There's nothing I love more than saving money with my Hy-Vee Perks card. Cashing in on all the great fuel saver deals, that's just one of the ways that I save with my Hy-Vee Perks card. I saved 30 cents a gallon just a couple of weeks ago. There are a lot more benefits to having a free Hy-Vee Perks membership, like exclusive members-only pricing and digital coupons. Upgrade to Perks Plus and get free delivery, express pickup, and special fuel discounts. Save today on groceries and gas, only at Hy-Vee.
It's Thirsty Thursday at Hy-Vee. Time to stock up the bar and fill up your tank. Earn 50 cents per gallon fuel savings on every $50 purchase of wine, beer, hard seltzer, and spirits. Mix and match all your favorite libations and get a 50-cent fuel saver with every $50 purchase. Stack up the savings and your next fill-up could be free. Don't miss Thirsty Thursday at your Kansas City, Missouri Hy-Vee. Product promotion differs by location. Offers valid where legal, available while supplies last.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-894-7722. That's 800-894-7722. Again, 800-894-7722.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Paid for, client portrayal, and endorsement. Choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
After my car wreck, there was a lot I didn't know.
I do know. If you've been hurt in a car wreck, call me. I've got this.
Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
Okay, still working the problem police incident. It is actually an investigation that continues from earlier. That was a road rage shooting resulting in a death. So police are there, 71 southbound, still closed at 85th. You can get off there, but it is still causing big delays in the area. 435 southbound as you approach 70, scoot to the left through here. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Trey Smith from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to the Drive with CDOT on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, I will give you some of my thoughts coming up at the top of the hour. The text line is exploding right now. We will talk about it when Briscoe is gone. We'll do it at 5 o'clock. You have my word. A lot of people talk. Just wait. 15 minutes. We will talk about it. Joshua Briscoe is here. We're going to do random question time with Joshua Briscoe, 913-586-7965. I will start with the first question here. Do you have a playoff sleeper? Is there a team right now that you're like, I could see them making a run? I feel like a lot of people's team is the Houston Texans.
The Texans are not my team. Funny, I mean, I feel like I could get the vibe of saying the Jags as the 3 seed is like, does that count if they're the 3 seed?
I absolutely think that.
I'm the Jags for me.
I'm saying right now, there's been no point in NFL history where you can look at somebody else and say, I think Jacksonville is going to the Super Bowl, and me not think that you're going out on a limb.
Yeah.
Like, you're going out on a limb if you were taking Jacksonville to make the Super Bowl.
They're my sleeper, yeah. But I think that's where I'll go.
Does pineapple belong on pizza?
Absolutely. I love a good pineapple pizza. Just straight pineapple's okay. Hawaiian pizza, I think, is a tiny bit overrated. Get a little pineapple and like an Italian sausage, a little spicy in there. Pizza shuttle, the cream cheese. We talked about pizza last time I was in here. That's a top 5 pizza for me.
Yeah, to me, the pineapple on pizza, it's just like it's a every once in a while to spice things
Absolutely.
up.
Absolutely.
You can't role play all the time, then it loses its lure. But, you pull it out once, twice a year, yes.
Honey,
It
you want to put
spices
pineapple
things up.
on the pizza
For
tonight?
sure.
I think that's perfectly fine. It would be on my Mount Rushmore. If you're gonna have pizza, you expect pepperoni when you get there. I'm not ordering a whole suite of pineapple pizzas when my friends come over. I'm not forcing my pineapple belief on others.
Yeah, that's like me. I would say those things for me are pineapple on pizza. I'm very much for pineapple on pizza, and also honey. I'm not putting honey every single time I eat pizza.
But if I go to Il Lazzarone and they bring some out, thank you very much.
100%.
Thank you very much.
You know, you're somewhere, you're walking around. Yes. If I'm eating an individual slice, I will absolutely throw a little cheese, a little honey on there. 1,000%. Yes.
Absolutely.
What is a conspiracy that you believe in?
I don't know if I can answer that, Carrington. Let me think about it. We had this conversation briefly.
I actually feel kind of bad because one of my conspiracies, they just did a whole documentary with Puffy. Like, hold on, wait. I've actually been thinking this entire time. Now everybody thinks it now. I always felt this way.
Here's the thing: is I'm not a terribly conspiratorial person. Like I don't have like a whole like Manila folder full of like research I've done into one particular topic, but I also don't just like take every like governmental story at face value, you know? So I feel like there'd be some like little things we can nitpick at, but I don't have like a fun one about like JFK or aliens or anything.
Okay. I also believe that everybody has like a court case or a murder or trial. So like me, I'm a JonBenet Ramsey. I will watch any documentary on JonBenet Ramsey. I will listen to anybody's theory about what happened to JonBenet Ramsey. I went to Boulder, Colorado, just because I wanted to like look and see the house for myself. JonBenet Ramsey is mine. Some people says OJ. Some people is what is yours?
I don't do a lot of true crime things. That ends up being kind of Renee's lane. If she'll just be listening to like a true crime podcast and I'll like hear a clip of it, and you know it's about some like horribly dismembered body or whatever, and I'm like, actually, I'm gonna keep listening to one of my funny podcasts that makes me happier instead of making me more sad. So I hate to. There's one question on the text line I could talk about for the next 10 minutes straight, but I don't have. I don't think I have a court. I'll read about any court case that's in the news right now on Twitter. I will spend 15 minutes learning about something and then forming an opinion on it, and then I will completely forget it happened until someone gets sentenced or something.
Where did you go on your first date?
We met in college. We spent a lot of time together before our first date. We were friends, friends then lovers, a tale as old as time. I don't know what our actual first date was. It was kind of sneaky at the time. I mean, there's a whole lore there that would also require... I'm sorry to give you like 3 non-answers in a row. I feel like I'm having a press conference here. Should I stand up and just like...
We do this so we can learn more about you. Rob, where was your first date? Do you remember your first date?
I do remember my first date. We went to Maloney's over in downtown Overland Park to get a drink and like a late night apps.
A drink? So you didn't have your first date until you were in 21?
My first date, period, with my wife. I'm sorry.
Your first date, not your...
Oh, sorry. Okay, my bad.
He knew exactly what I meant. That was slick. I see what you were
I
doing.
did the same thing.
I thought you meant wife, because he said we met in college. I was like, oh, so it's clearly wife.
Yeah, that's what I was doing too.
First date would have been Palazzo Theaters in Overland Park.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Cinemark Merriam.
I think it was Tokyo Drift. I don't know the movie.
Thank you. Finally. Now people remember.
Cinemark Merriam down the street from here was a frequent flyer spot for me.
This is why we got to keep the movie theater open.
Yeah.
My first date was also, I went to go see Barbershop 2 at the Ward Park movie theater. Yes, the movie theater is a great first date. You remember what movie you saw?
I don't. I went to
Were you
a lot
watching
of movies
the movie?
there. Probably. I read the Cliffs Notes after. No, that you have to have a third space somewhere where teenagers can go and sit in a dark room and just be stressed out about how the other person's thinking about them. Is that true for everybody?
100%. This was something that we were talking about in my friend group chat a couple of days ago. Where did 16-year-old Joshua Briscoe want to work? Like, I really wanted to work at Best Buy, and Best Buy never hired. Like, right now, if somebody was the manager at Best Buy, I would pick up one shift just to put on that blue polo so I could say that I worked at Best Buy. I've always wanted to work there.
I never applied at one, but I actually think that the thing I have thought about recently would be a movie theater. Like the idea of, I think eventually it would get old. I think sweeping up the popcorn would get old, but the idea of like taking the tickets, which don't exist anymore. But thinking about it, Glenwood, where I've gone a couple times in the last year, thinking, man, it's kind of old timey. It has the charm of an old movie theater where you do get paper tickets up front and you go over. I make movie theater popcorn at home now. I can bring that ability to the theater. I think the movie theater would be mine.
What's the worst movie you've ever seen in the theaters?
I remember. Oh boy, it was 2012. That's literally what it was called. That wasn't the year that we saw it. I think we saw it in like 2009. I think I went with my dad and maybe some other family. But it's like disaster movie based on the idea that the world was going to end on December 21st, 2012. And that was the first time I remember seeing a movie in theaters that like we really had the thought of, should we just leave? I've never left a movie early. I've never just walked out of a movie theater. But that was, I think, the worst movie we ever paid to see.
I have two answers for this. I have walked out of one movie. The movie I walked out of was Midsummer.
That makes sense.
Absolutely hated.
You did not know what you're getting into necessarily.
I had saw the one
it's
before.
It's not for him. That's
I saw the one
100% not
before.
for
What
him.
is it? Hereditary or whatever
you
that
saw
was.
Hereditary and went back. I haven't seen either of those. Also not for me.
Yeah, I saw the first one. I was like, you know what? Maybe something was off with me, so let me give this other one a try. Woo! I left the movie theater. But if you had to ask me the worst movie I've ever seen, I saw Sucker Punch in theaters. Absolutely terrible movie. I would not advise anybody to see that movie. Sucker Punch is the worst movie I've ever seen inside the movie theater.
Oscar Isaac is in that. I remember this coming out and like being a thing, but I did not make it to the theaters for Sucker Punch.
Someone on the text line asked a great question. What is your favorite Bradley Cooper movie? I feel like everyone should have the same answer to what's your favorite Bradley Cooper movie. It's Wedding Crashers.
I haven't seen Wedding Crasher.
Hold on. Wedding Crashers is great. Wait, what?
Yeah, that's what I thought. You were moving forward, and I was thinking I was stunned.
I was really glad that Rob had something else to say. No, go ahead, Rob. Finish your point.
No.
Whoa.
You've never seen Wedding Crashers?
I've never seen Wedding Crashers. This, I don't know if we're going to get to this. You asked BK what his New Year's resolution is. I did a lot last year.
No, hold on. Let's go back.
I'm catching up on movies this year. I'm catching up on movies I haven't seen.
Have you seen Superbad?
Yes.
Have you seen 40-Year-Old Virgin?
No. I saw you tweet about that recently, and I thought I'm going to add that to the
You
list.
got time this January.
I know.
Your day job is now wide open.
Yes. If someone wants to pay me to watch movies at home, I would love that.
Have you seen Knocked Up?
No. I was a lot of those like
Judd
college
Apatow
age
movies.
Yes. I was not. Those were not coming into our home, and those were not the movies I was going to see in theaters.
Now I have two other questions. Now we just going down a movie with Joshua
This is my New Year's resolution, man. I got to catch up on these.
What is like? Do you have the rated R movie that you watched too early in life?
No.
Because like mine's American Pie. Like when American Pie came out, it was like a. Have you seen it? Have you seen? I had never seen anything like that before.
Carrington, the first R-rated movie I ever saw was The Passion of the Christ.
That's Joshua Briscoe joining us on the show with the Chiefs Radio Network. Happy to have him on the show.
Happy New Year's, guys.
Coming up at the top of the hour, we have gotten at least 300 text messages about it. Yes, I have seen it. Yes, we will talk about it. I promise you we will talk about it right after this commercial break. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5, The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5, The Fan.
Stall in Shawnee, and that is 35. It's going to be northbound just past Johnson. Left lane is blocked. Still closed for investigation. That's a road rage shooting, an incident from earlier today. 71 southbound closed at 85th. You can get off there, but it's going to take a few minutes extra to get through there. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Prostate cancer. 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed in their lifetime, but early detection can save lives. That's where KCUC comes in. They're the premier center for urology and oncology, with over 50 elite providers and more than 20 locations across the metro. KCUC makes it easy to get screened fast in the comfort of an office, not a hospital. Schedule your screening today at kcuc.com. Don't wait. Come see Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced urology team. kcuc.com. At KCUC, you see the best in KC.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Hey, hockey fans! Now with BetMGM, you can win a share of $10,000 in bonus bets when your anytime goal scorer nets 3. Enter BetMGM's Hat Trick Jackpot all season long for your chance to win some major bonus bets. It's easy. Just log in and opt into the promotion. Then make an anytime score bet on any hockey game of at least $10. If your player of choice scores 3 goals instead of just 1, you'll win your share of the $10K in bonus bets. There's nothing quite like watching a game with a hat trick, especially when it means you can win a share of $10,000 in bonus bets. Ready to shoot your shot? Download the app today. BetMGM. Make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards or bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-284-1238. 800-284-1238. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-284-1238.
Did you know that you can watch all your favorite shows right on YouTube? We're live streaming Fesco and Dusty, Cody and Gold, The Drive, and After Hours all day long. So if you want to look at the beautiful Alex Gold, interact with Cody Tapp in the chat, or gaze at the ruggedly handsome Dusty Likens, just go to YouTube and watch them while you pretend to work. Go to our channel, hit subscribe, and stay up to date with 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
All right, let's dive right into it. Now, I think you guys would understand why I have to choose my words very, very carefully, given where we are in the situation. Now, I'm not going to give you too much information here, but there is a post right now circulating on social media that could be of very big importance to our off season. I am very much aware of it. I have seen it. I have read it. We have discussed it as a show. So I see the text line. Oh, you don't have to send it to me anymore. Trust me. Enough of you have sent it. I have seen the post. This is the most I feel comfortable with saying at this portion of where we are. And if and when we get more information, then we will absolutely talk about it on the show. I will just caution, because we have been here before, to let's get more information and let's let things play themselves out. Because I would say that one common complaint that the public has towards the media is a jump to conclusion and a rush to a conclusion. And I certainly understand why. Something tells me that this story, especially with the detail of the story, it is not going away anytime soon. That this is something that will be very relevant tomorrow. This is something that will be really relevant in 2 weeks or in a month. It has a massive implication on what could possibly happen in the next 60 days with the football team. It has a massive implication of what can happen. All I can say is what I firmly believe this. Nobody told me to say this. This is me telling you exactly how I feel. Everything I know is from a social media post. That's just not a position that I feel really comfortable with right now. If we get some concrete reporting, some concrete news, some concrete information, then I am happy to discuss it. Right now, what we have is an accusation. Right now, what we have is one person's sharing this that could be true, could not be true. I have absolutely no clue. But I've done this job long enough, and we have been in this situation before. Let's just see how this plays itself out. Maybe you wanted a stronger statement than the one that I just have, but it is the one that I feel most comfortable with at this point. I could have a different thought with more information in the next 15 minutes. If Rob hits me with the breaking news sounder and this thing is out and this thing is out, very happy to talk about it. That's our job. It's our responsibility to have those conversations. I don't feel comfortable talking about it right now, while right now it is a social media post. It is not transitioned into a news story. It is not transitioned to a court statement or a police report or those things. When that happens, we will discuss it. But right now, at least what I think the best course of action for the show and what I think the best course of action for everybody is, let's not rush to conclusions. Let's not form any conclusions, and let's see what happens. Because I'm reading the text line. Oh, this thing's going to happen. Oh, this thing's going to happen. The answer is right now, I don't know. I have absolutely no clue. So I'm willing to sit back. I don't want to pretend like it's not happening. I know that it's happening. I got the same social media that you guys have. Same one. We're going to move on. Let's talk about Travis Kelce. We'll talk about these other things. The moment we get any concrete news, we are here to discuss it. But right now, it is not concrete news. Right now, it is, I don't want to use the term speculation. That seems to trivialize, and I'm not here to do that. But right now, that's all it is a social media conversation. And I don't think it is responsible to then base multiple very serious conversations solely off of one social media post. Not at this point. That is it. That's what I have.
Yeah, until
So a lot of people are like, what are you talking about? You got the internet. You got the internet. The same phone you were texting with. Mm-hmm. Do a little bit of Googles. Do a little bit of research. That's all. Do a little bit and read it for yourself is what I'm telling you. I don't want to read it for you. Read it. Go read it.
There are social media allegations now about a Chiefs player. That is all we can say.
Oh, you said more than I was willing to say.
I mean,
no, what you're saying is perfectly fine. I don't have any problem with that.
I would just say allegations with a Chiefs player. That's what we have.
I would say right now, if you don't know what we're talking about, I would just encourage you to get on social media in some capacity, and you will find out exactly what we are talking about. Exactly what we are talking about. And when we got news, we'll share the news. Right now, there's no news. Right now, I don't know. That's the official answer. Right now, I don't know. And so for some, you say we don't live on social media. I would tell you right now you don't got to live on there. I would just encourage you to get on Facebook. I would encourage you to get on there, and this has a chance of being the number one story for a very long period of time based on the accusations, if this is 100% true. But I don't know. So Rob, hit the button, shout out to Baker University, and we'll move on.
Your workday is over.
Oh, yeah.
You're headed home, and now you're stuck in traffic. Time to get caught up on the biggest stories in Kansas City and around the country with CDOT and Rob. It's time for the hits. Number one.
This is not funny. Funny is not the correct term. For 2 hours, the text line was, please talk about this thing. And now it's like, what are you talking about? I don't know what to do. I'm in an impossible situation here. I would just say the same phone that you are texting, in 3 minutes, you will be able to find it. I promise you will be able to find it in 3 minutes. I would say that it has gone viral locally, is what I would tell you.
Is it viral in the blogosphere? Maybe it's a better way to say it.
I mean, no, I wouldn't say that. No, I would not say it is viral there.
A Fox 4, I'm just picking, has not picked it up. So like if they were going to a news outlet, it is not there. It is just a search on your social media tab.
Yeah.
That's a better way to say it than blogosphere.
That's a great way of putting it. Yes, for sure.
But the hits are brought to you by Baker University. Make your next era orange at Baker University, the first university in Kansas and ranked number 1 in return on investment among private universities in the state. Baker University, forever in our orange era.
All right, where do you want to start, Rob? I know that part was kind of clunky. We have gotten so many texts over the last 10 minutes, and there's not really a way to talk about it in a productive way right now, I would say it is a no-win situation. Honestly, it is a no-win situation. I want to play this for you. Let's move on. Travis Kelce talked to his brother earlier today. They have a very popular podcast, and on their very popular podcast, Travis Kelce said this.
Trav, you want to tell us all of your personal endeavors?
Yeah, every season ends for me. I put my feet up and I just be a human.
Yeah.
Just being a regular human for a couple weeks, maybe a month or so, and try and figure out what I'm going to do next in terms of my future in football. You know, I've talked to a few people in the facility already, you know, having the exit meetings and everything, and they know where I stand, at least right now. And there's a lot of love for the game that's still there, and I don't think I'll ever lose that. It's a tough thing to navigate, but at the same time, if my body can heal up and rest up, and I can feel confident that I can go out there and give it another 18, 20, 21 week run, I think I would do it in a heartbeat. So I think right now it's just finding that answer and seeing how the body feels after this game and kind of when it all settles down.
I'm confused. So you're not already coming back? Chris Jones has said that you're coming back. I thought this was already...
Nice. That's why we love Chris. He's very optimistic.
That was Jason and Travis Kelce on the New Heights podcast. This is the advice that I would give Travis Kelce if he came to me. This is the best advice I could give anybody, I think, in his situation. I know we call what they do at a game like, oh, man, they're getting paid too much money to play a kid's game. And technically, that is true. But we have to acknowledge, man, football is not like playing Sorry or Monopoly or Clue. It's not what it is. You can get seriously and permanently injured playing football. You can do serious, unreversible damage to your body by playing football. There has to be a certain mentality that you have to put yourself into, I think, to play football at the absolute highest level. I don't think you can play football with half your heart. I don't think you can play football with 80% of your heart. I've talked to enough former professional athletes in my life, and they start to tell you the moment they lose that love for the game is the moment you know that it's time to get out. I know that my job is not like Travis Kelce's job, and I'm not here to compare the two. But sometimes I think we look at this like, oh, they only work 18 Sundays. No, if that's the only work that you were doing, you cannot be great at this. You can't be considered to be the greatest tight end in the history of the National Football League, and the only time you are working is on game day. No, man. The work starts now. How are you training? How are you preparing? What film are you watching? What are you doing to get better? And we see this every single offseason. Man, the players that take this time seriously and are focused on getting better, focused on physique, focused on physical therapy, focused on those things, those are the guys that reap the benefits once it's time to catch the touchdowns, once it's time to get the sacks and the touchdowns. And the guys that don't, the guys that waste this time period and don't get better, that also shows itself out. So my question to Travis Kelce would be a very, very simple one. Man, God only gives you a short amount of time to do this thing. You got a lot of time to go act in whatever Adam Sandler movie is coming out. You got a lot of time to start a podcast. You got all the time in the world to go work for a fill-in-the-blank television network. ESPN is not going anywhere. Fox is not going anywhere. CBS, all of the Amazon, they are not through giving out money to former professional athletes to cover these things. Netflix, they got buku amount of money. So don't worry about that. Don't think about that. Do you still love it? Do you still want to get up at 6 a.m. to go running and train to do this? Or would you rather lay in bed with your fiance? Would you rather go on a trip to Venice or Italy? Or would you rather go on and do these whatever other things? You can do a million things. You have unlimited resources if you're Travis Kelce. If your answer is, I'd much rather lay in bed, stop playing football immediately. Now, stop playing today. Announce it today that you don't want to play football anymore. But if your heart's still in it, if you can still get up and do all of those things and train and work, man, you only got a limited amount of time to do this, man. You are one of God's chosen. You got an opportunity to play double-digit years in the National Football League, and not just play. You're one of the best football players ever. Man, if you still want to play, you still think you can do it, I encourage you to go do it. I encourage you to do it, because once it's done, it's done. There ain't no coming back. You don't get any do-overs in this thing. That would be my advice to Travis Kelce. I don't know what he is going to do. I do think that we have been trying to listen and, which way is he leaning? I don't know. I don't think Travis Kelce knows. I think it's irresponsible if you are Travis Kelce to have an answer right now, one way or the other. The season just ended. It's still fresh. Really take some time to decompress. Take some time. You haven't had this time in January in 8 years to be free, and you don't have to work. You don't have any responsibilities right now. We're still a long way from the football season. You got time if you're Travis Kelce. That would be my very friendly advice to him on how I think he should handle this thing and the questions that he has to ask himself and be honest with.
Number 2.
Speaking of Kansas City Chiefs and speaking of changes, we have seen two of the more disappointing franchises last year in the NFL, or this season in the NFL, however that works out, with the Lions making a change at OC. And yesterday we had the breaking news that John Harbaugh is out in Baltimore. So obviously that was breaking news and big change as well. Carrington, if you were to rank and put on a Olympic medal stand the biggest disappointments in the NFL season, the Lions and Ravens are bronze and silver. You would say the Chiefs get the gold. Do you anticipate them making big changes the same way we've seen the Lions make an OC change and the Ravens make a head coaching change?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's right now the biggest question that the Kansas City Chiefs have. I mean, I don't think there's any question about that. I mean, those are the three most disappointing teams, and I don't really think it's necessarily very close between those three. I don't think that it's very close. The Ravens made their decision. They fired their head coach 2 days after the season was over. Their coach, who has been very, very successful. It's not like the Ravens have been some massive disappointment for a long period of time. 2 years ago, they went to the AFC Championship game. Last year, they went to the playoffs and were basically a failed two-point conversion away from going back to the AFC Championship game, And then this year, they had a disappointing season, and they were a made field goal away from going back to the postseason. So it's not like the Ravens they turned into the Arizona Cardinals overnight. But whatever it is, behind the scenes, things are not working with their head coach, not working in relationship with their quarterback, and they made a decision. The Detroit Lions, they gave their offensive coordinator less than a year. I mean, they gave him one football season. They didn't give him a second offseason to implement his program. They fired him today. Now I think the question is that all of us are sitting and waiting is to see what the plan is with the Kansas City Chiefs and what changes are they going to make. And I don't think the change is this. I don't think it's change. No, it needs to have an S on the end. They need changes. They need a new wide receiver coach, in my opinion. They need a new special teams coach, in my opinion. They cannot bring back Matt Nagy as their offensive coordinator. This team, to me, has to embrace that phase one is over. Phase one is over. You know what the Super Bowl was against the Eagles? That was the Avengers Endgame. Now we are in a second phase. Now the second phase is not off to a great start. It started with them missing the playoffs, but their endgame happened, and now they need to find new characters for this story. And everybody can't come in this second phase. There's no Iron Man in this phase. They're done. So that's what I want the Chiefs to really focus in on. I want the Chiefs to really focus in on what is 2.0, what does the second chapter of Patrick Mahomes' career look like?
Let me ask you this, and maybe this is an impossible question to answer. Are you at all scared that we haven't seen the changes yet? Because you're talking about new special teams coordinator, new running back coach, new wide receiver coach. Andy Reid 48 hours ago was having a press conference saying, hey, we finished player exit interviews. We're now on to, coach exit interviews. I haven't seen any news come across that things have changed based on those exit interviews. You would think a Rappaport, a Rossini, a Schefter, the people reporting that the OC of Detroit was out, would be reporting that Dave Tobe, who might be the longest tenured assistant coach in the NFL, is out. A guy like Connor Embry, these things would hit the news wire. This isn't like you have to scour the NFL transaction report to find these moves. They would happen and people would know about them. Are you at all worried that we are now 40 hours removed from Andy Reid's press conference? You're seeing other teams move and shake a little bit as far as personnel, and the Chiefs at least based on what we know so far, are standing pat. Now, that standing pat doesn't include the fact that Matt Nagy's out of contract, but
yeah,
I'm not
that worried about it right now. I understand it. I mean, there's a lot of time between now and then. There's a lot of time between now and the changes that you are potentially talking about. We haven't started the NFL playoffs yet. So I mean, what does hiring a new running back coach do for you today? There is no off-season program. There's nothing happening. They ain't practicing anytime soon. There's no workouts anytime soon for the Chiefs. So no, I don't think the Chiefs need to maybe the offensive coordinator they want or the running back coach is on a current playoff team. Let's let things slow down a little bit, the coaching cycle kind of turn, and then let's see where the Chiefs potentially land. So I don't have the stance right now that the Chiefs need to go out, need to make a move today. It's January 7th. The league year doesn't start until March 12th. The combine isn't until the middle part of December or of February. We haven't gotten to the start of the NFL playoffs yet. So there is a lot of time, I think, to have these questions answered when it comes to the Chiefs.
Number 3.
All right, Kevin, let's talk about Darren Peterson. Because I don't know if you saw last night. Actually, I know for a fact you saw last night
I was there.
because you were there live and in person.
I was physically there.
As one of the more impressive comebacks in Kansas basketball history unfolded. Kansas down 9 points, a minute to go. Ho-hum wins in overtime, led by 32 from their star freshman. I'm sure you had the same feeling I did walking out of the building last night. Just pure elation at the majestic comeback that you had experienced live and in person because you stuck around the entire game.
All right, Rob. Cut the beat. I'm going to tell you guys, this is a actual true story. I was thinking about going to the game, but I didn't really want to pay to go to the game. Honestly, I didn't really want to pay. Like, you got to pay, and then I got to drive, and then I got to figure out a way to park. I didn't really want to go. But a very nice woman, her name is Erica, she sent me a message and said, hey, if you want to go, I'll give you our tickets. And I was like, oh, that's really kind. Yeah. She's like, the only thing is you got to actually go. And I was like, of course, I will go to the game. She gave me tickets. They were in, I was in the 9th row. I don't want to tell her exact seats. I was in the 9th row. So I was like, you know what, for free, and they're pretty good seats. Not those high corners. I was like, you know what, I'll go to the game. And I went to the game. And let me tell you, one of the most magical things happened. I've never seen anything like that. Honestly, it was one of the greatest sporting events that I'd ever attended. It's not the best, and I've definitely seen games that have had more implications than the one that I was at. But I saw one of the best college basketball players I'd ever seen. Darren Peterson, one of the best college players I've ever seen. Like, we can go through the numbers. His efficiency, it's not even realistic. It's almost impossible for a college player to be as efficient as Darren Peterson has been so far in his career. He has been amazing so far. I then saw Kansas. They were getting their boots smoked for the first 25 minutes of the game. 35. They were getting they were now 15 at home. I'm sitting here looking around me, and the place is starting to get empty. I never for a second considered leaving. Part of me was really curious to see how KU fans were going to react. I started seeing KU fans. I'm not making this up. I started seeing KU fans type out the word NIT. I wanted to walk out of Allen with those people and just, what do you guys think? How do you feel? What's the energy going to be like? Now, I will never let anybody make me feel bad about being a fair weather fan, because I was in Allen Fieldhouse yesterday and I saw you guys quit on KU. Rob, tell me I'm lying. You sat there. For those of you that you know exactly what I'm talking about, the end of the KU game from a crowd perspective felt like the close game on the final game of a Big 12 session. It was half empty. People made it up in their minds that KU was about to lose. They're mad at Darren Peterson. We wasted all of our money. I'm ready to go home. The guy that was sitting right next to me, very kind gentleman, he had a KU polo on. He had a KU watch. He had a KU star. You could not be a bigger KU fan. That man left with 4 minutes to go and said, well, maybe next year. I was like, hey, man, Travel home safely. Very kind man. I saw KU fans give up on their basketball team yesterday. And then a magical thing happened. Basket here, steal here, layup here. Crowd starts really getting into it. I mean, some of the most unbelievable mistakes I've ever seen a basketball team make. TCU, they forgot how to inbound the basketball. They forgot how to inbound the ball. I then see Darren Peterson, who, as great of a player Darren Peterson is, I get it. With 3 minutes to go in the game, Darren Peterson looked at Bill Self and just said, I'm good. I'm done. I don't want to play basketball anymore. He's not standing up. He's not cheering for his team. He's just sitting there with these things on his legs. I was like, all right, well, he's done. And then when that happened, I saw Melvin Council turn into Russell Westbrook from 2012. He's just making all these plays and acrobatic layups, and the crowd's barking, and just everybody's kind of getting into it. I wasn't getting into it yet, but everybody else was getting into it. I wasn't cheering for him. I don't want you to think that. I was not cheering for him. And then this same guy who looked at his coach and basically said, yeah, I'm good for the day, then just checks back into the game. Just checks back in. Like, hey, coach, I'm good now. I want to play. He then gets back into the game, gets fouled, then goes up there. I know you guys might disagree. I watched enough KU basketball. There's not another player on that team that would have made all three of those free throws. Melvin Council wouldn't have made them. Trey White wouldn't have made them. Whatever player you're going to name, they would have missed at least one of those free throws. They needed him yesterday. He goes up there calmly. Ball didn't hit the rim. Swish, swish, swish. I'm like, man, this kid, he got ice water in his veins. Then, I'm on the side in which the last shot was, and he missed the last shot. All right, cool. But at that point, you knew they were going to win in overtime. And then they win in overtime. And in that moment, this is as honest as I've ever been. In that moment, I wasn't cheering for KU, but I was happy that they won. I was happy that they won. I felt like the end of the Grinch. You remember the Grinch, his heart was real small, and he was mean and cold. And then the people of Whoville showed him so much love, and his heart grew so big. That was me at the KU game. Everybody was so happy, and they were cheering, and they were high-fiving, and everybody was in such a good mood. It felt like you were a part of a special club. I mean, it was only like 60% full, but it felt like I was a part of their special club for a time. For a moment there, you know what, I was like, man, this really isn't that bad. I understood it. I get why you guys cheer for them. I don't want to cheer for them. I'm not a fan. But for a moment, a glimmer, I got to experience what it's like to cheer for that team. It was a fading glimmer. It went away when I got up and left my seat. But as I sat there and I felt the Allen Fieldhouse magic, it surrounded me. I felt it. I was a part of it. I was a part of it. I started cheering. I started clapping for one of the TCU guys to miss a free throw. I was doing fan activity. I'll never let that happen to me again. I'll never be caught in that situation again. I was a once in a lifetime. I got caught up in the moment is what happened. I got caught up in the moment. Have you ever kissed somebody you weren't supposed to kiss? It's like, I don't know how this happened. We've always just been friends, and out of nowhere, that's the awkwardness I feel now. I didn't mean to do that. So I'm still not one of you guys. I still strongly dislike you guys. But for a moment there, I got to experience what it was like, and it was enjoyable. It was fun. It was fun.
You say you're not one of us.
I'm not one of you guys. But you know what? I considered? I considered blowing on my hands when I walked into work today. I felt like it.
You've definitely been to more home games at Allen this year than in Columbia.
Well, they ain't played nobody good at home yet.
They just played Florida. They played Florida.
They played them on a Tuesday. I couldn't watch that. I wasn't going to that game. I will go see Mizzou at home, but I just know. That's the story. I got to see what it was like. I'm sitting there walking. I was like, man, these guys did it for Scooter. I was saying stuff like that as I was leaving. R.I.P. Scooter. They did it for Scoot. That's the kind of stuff I was saying as I was walking out. That was my experience yesterday at the game. I'm very happy I went to the game yesterday. And we tried to help. We told people, you could have all experienced this with me. The tickets were $10 on StubHub. I tried to help the people. Nobody listens to me. It's a drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for K-State Athletics. 96.5, The Fan.
Start the new year by moving, not hurting. If joint pain's holding you back, then listen up. There's a way to get real relief without surgery, without downtime, and without putting your life on pause. QC Kinetics delivers regenerative treatments that actually help your body repair the areas causing you pain. Those achy knees, hips, shoulders, your back, wherever it hurts. Instead of facing an invasive operation that sidelines you for months, these treatments happen right in the office and you go about your day. Skip the 3 to 6 months of recovery. Skip the pain. Skip the invasive surgery. Imagine this instead. You're moving stronger and better and planning the year you want. Game-changing regenerative treatments from QC Kinetics. January is supposed to be your clean slate, so make it one. Stop managing the pain and start solving it with QC Kinetics. Call now for your free consultation. 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. Off 435 in State Line and in Gladstone, it's QC Kinetics.
Are you ready for some action, basketball fans? Dusty Likens here. You know I am. BetMGM, an authorized gaming partner of the NBA, is giving players another reason to hit the court this season. BetMGM is adding extra excitement to every basket, every slam dunk, and every buzzer-beating shot with special promotions, new features, and more. Log in throughout the season to find odds boost tokens, no sweat tokens, and same-game parlay boost tokens in your account to amplify those winnings. Enjoy enhanced product features like dark mode as well. We have lots in store between now and when the new champions are crowned. So log into BetMGM, an authorized gaming partner of the NBA, all throughout the basketball season to see what's new. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 and older only. Missouri only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary and expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take Dayquil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the Dayquil.
Undo your flu symptoms with Dayquil Intense Flu. Dayquil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
Dayquil Intense Flu. The daytime coughing, aching fever under your flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Presented by Robinhood.
He crosses, spins, pulls up.
With Robinhood Prediction Markets, buy or sell your predictions all game long. No house odds, just you versus the market. Put your sports IQ to work. Trade every shot, block, steal, run, and moment that shifts the game. With Robinhood Prediction Markets, trade every play. Visit Robinhood.com/predict to start trading. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5, The Fan.
Okay, still working a crash 49 southbound on the ramp to 150 highway. You'll tap your brakes through there. You've also got to 70 eastbound at 7th headed into downtown or near that area, right lane blocked. You'll tap your brakes through there. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Chris Jones from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right. I was just texting with the boss man during the commercial break. I really do apologize. I wasn't trying to make the open of the 5 o'clock hour clunky and weird. I don't know. There's just a lot of gray areas. So maybe I didn't handle it perfectly fine, and I apologize for that. So we can at least say it. For those of you that don't know, Rashee Rice is being accused by, is it an ex-girlfriend? Do you know their relationship, Rob? I don't know their relationship. Rashee Rice on social media is being accused of domestic violence by someone. It's an ex. It's his kid's mom. I do not know the relationship between the two parties. It is a pretty lengthy social media post with multiple pictures attached to it. It is a long caption of her telling her side of the story with a lot of pictures attached to it. So we can't say that. I'm sorry for earlier. I really wasn't trying to be cagey. That was not the purpose of that. Rashee Rice on social media right now is being accused of domestic violence by a person he has had a relationship with. That's maybe the best way of putting it. The message, I guess, the core of it is still the same. We've been at this place before. We've been here before. So at least for me, I don't have a strong opinion based on it now. We all feel the same way about domestic violence. Like, I don't want to sit here and like, oh, you should never hit. Like, you guys know all of this. Like, I'm not here to stand on a soapbox. How I do feel about it is, let's just see what happens. Let's get more information, and then we can form an opinion as the information is coming out. So I don't think it's really productive to speculate, well, now what should they do in the draft? I don't know. Let's see how things play itself out. I don't know if he gets suspended. I have no information other than this one post on Instagram from this person. I didn't know this person existed until 3 o'clock earlier today. I had no clue, never heard of this person. Why would I need to know who Rashee Rice is sleeping with? I don't have no bearing on my life. I didn't know. So that is at least where I am. If you have formed an opinion, I can't stop you from doing that. But at least the stance for me on the show is going to be very, very clear. I don't know yet, and we don't have enough information. And I do think it is irresponsible to, I guess, build topics and talk about it in a way like it is true, or paint it like, oh, well, there's no way that this happened. It's not true. She's making it up. She wants money. She's a woman scorned. I also don't think that's the appropriate way of handling it. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that we as a collective were in the middle of a domestic violence situation, and things were not nearly what they appeared to be from the outside. Now, I don't know if this situation is comparable or not. I'm saying I'm willing to sit back and let it play itself out. And once we get more information, I will then give you more of an opinion based on it. But I can tell you the allegation. There is a person right now on social media that has accused Rashee Rice of assaulting her, has accused him of domestic violence. And if I had to guess, just based on how these things work, it is going to be a big story coming up sooner rather than later.
I would imagine, now I don't know this, I'm not reporting this, I would imagine the NFL or some authority or some governing body is going to look into these allegations. I don't think it's going to be a social media post and then that's the end of the conversation. I do believe the NFL, the Chiefs, whatever jurisdiction of police, whomever, will probably be doing a level of investigation. But at this point, that hasn't happened. I haven't seen any news that is going to come down as of now. So for today, the story is Rashee Rice is accused via Instagram by a person that he had a relationship with of domestic abuse. I don't think there's any other opinion you can have at this point other than that is what we know. It was a year ago that, remember, social media story again, Xavier Worthy was accused of domestic abuse. We saw how that story unfolded. So I am with you. I imagine most people feel this way. Let's let news and facts and reporting develop before we make any sort of leap to conclusions.
I guess this is probably the one thing I feel comfortable in saying. As Rashee Rice is entering the final year of his contract, and this is now this is the money time. This is the money time. Everybody knows that with an NFL player. He is on the final year of his deal. I would say, regardless of how this ends, maybe it ends up being nothing. And 2 months from now, we find out that this was either overblown, made up, whatever it is. or we find out that this happened, every offseason there has been a story and you have been at the center of it. Or it has been something else that has happened. The Chiefs they're going to have to sit down and have a serious conversation about, is this a person that we can pay? And is this a person that we can trust? Like, that is going to happen whether this is true or not. Like, you are going to have to make a decision in a year from now. His contract has expired with the Kansas City Chiefs, and what you are you willing to pay and commit to this person? And at least in some capacity, again, whether this is true or not true, it has been nothing but issues in his rookie contract. Nothing but issues in the rookie contract. Man, is that a person that you feel comfortable turning around in 6 months, in 12 months, turning around and giving that person an insane amount of wealth? We're talking about money that sets everybody up. We're talking about 4 years, $94 million, $50 million guaranteed. I can't answer that question, but that is a conversation that the organization is absolutely going to need to have, for sure, 100%.
Saying this, I mean, this is semantics. This is now 3 times his name has been in the news. Because remember, there was the car incident, which we know he now has 30 days in jail. He was suspended from the NFL. Remember that there was also the incident where he got into the alleged altercation with the paparazzi member at a club.
Yeah,
now,
that went away pretty quick.
That went away.
Yeah, that went away real quick.
But his name was in the news for
sure,
a few weeks. Now, it's not the news, it's social media, but we both presume this is going to at least end up as some level of story. So he could end up in the news for this. He's been in the NFL for 3 years. He's had 3 news stories. That is not a trend line you want to be on as someone who is looking to get paid, whether it be from this organization or some other organization, in the next 18 to 24 months. And you're right. The paparazzi thing kind of disappeared pretty quickly. You know, I don't want to say swept under the rug, but it dissipated fast. But it is 3 different times where his name continues to be in the news for all the reasons you do not want. It isn't like, wow, another 1,000 yards a year. It's the bad news you don't want.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say too much, but I agree with you. I 100% agree with you. And I really do apologize for the beginning of it. It was clunky, and that's my fault. So I got to take responsibility for that. All right, why don't we do this? Why don't we reset? We'll come back. We'll close off the show correctly. Keep it right here, so Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on Kansas City's only FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, folks, it's Carrington Harrison from The Drive here. Many men remember their first time. Not that first time. I'm talking about the first time that erectile dysfunction ruined that special moment. And if you're over 50, then the chances are then you've experienced this before. That first time can be frustrating. It can be a little bit embarrassing. But here's the good news. At Heartland Men's Health, that first time can also be the last time. Heartland Men's Health specializes in treating ED when the pills and herbals fail. With a success rate of over 90%, many men see results just after one visit. So your first visit is just $99, which includes a consult, lab work, and if medically advised, you get a test dose. And if it doesn't work right there in the office, then your visit is on the house. So don't let ED define your sex life. Call my friends at Heartland Men's Health today at 844-447-6600 or check out the website, heartlandmenshealth.com today. You can also stop by and visit any of the 3 area locations, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City. Be sure to stop by Heartland Men's Health.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The NFL wildcard round is here, and FanDuel is turning on playoff mode. All customers get a profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. Each game day during the wildcard round, you'll find a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts waiting for you in the app. Pick the matchups you believe in. I'm starting to become a believer in this Jacksonville Jaguars team because Trevor Lawrence is playing some better football of late. I'll be playing them in the wildcard round. Take your shot on the upset or build a parlay that fits the moment. Then apply your profit boost and go for even bigger payouts while the playoffs get rolling. So visit FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and grab your profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. FanDuel is an official sports betting partner of 96.5 The Fan. Must be 21 and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This January, Fridays just got cooler, only at Harrah's Kansas City. Polar Patrol is making their rounds, and you can win $500 in free play. Just come out and play at any slot machine or table game for your chance to win $500 in free play. That's right, Fridays in January, the fun is on patrol and the prizes are ready to pop. So bundle up and head to Harrah's Kansas City where the good times keep flurrying. 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
So, you're ready to propose, huh?
Yeah, man. She's definitely the one.
What are we thinking about the ring? I got my wife's at Hellsberg. I couldn't recommend a better jeweler.
I could use some help with that.
Man, go to Hellsberg. I had no idea how many details you need to consider. Did you know you can get a natural or lab-grown diamond? I didn't. Figure out what she wants. Trust me, they'll make it happen.
Start your story with Hellsberg. Shop in store or at hellsberg.com.
Did you know we have an Instagram channel? MVP Monday, Chiefs Take Tuesday, Best Bets, Fantasy Football Advice, and real-time updates during Chiefs games. Get behind-the-scenes content from all the guys on a daily basis. It's exactly why Instagram was created, to look at a bunch of 30-year-old dudes giving sports opinions. Kansas City's FM sports station and your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hardworking partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Tonight, expect cloudy skies with a slight chance of light rain and a low of 48.
Weather brought to you by Staples. 2026 is here, and at Staples, deals mean business. Like up to $100 off custom print orders. Head into the new year looking good for less. Staples. That was easy. Ends 131.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
Crash 435. It's eastbound just past Metcalf. Left lane is blocked. 435 westbound at 69. Right lane blocked there by a stalled semi and heavy. Both directions in the area still working. The crash near Olathe, and that's 35 northbound at 119th. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Subscribe to 96.5 The Fan on YouTube to watch the show from wherever you are.
All right, welcome back into the show. My name is Carrington Harrison. Very happy to be here with you, closing out the show for today. Rob, I have two Jet stats that I would like to share with you and do a real quick toss-up on which one of these do you think is the crazier stat. Do you think the crazier stat is that their leading receiver had 395 yards and only played in 8 games this year? Or do you think the crazier stat is that the Jets as a team did not record an interception this season? That is the first time since the 30s that an NFL team did not record a single interception. Not a single tip ball in the air and a defensive lineman came down with it, or none of that. They didn't get a single one all year. What is the crazier Jet stat?
So I don't think it's close. I think it's the interception thing.
Like 395 yards receiving is insane.
It's really bad. Like it's a bad. Both stats are bad. There's not like, oh, well, one stat's fine. But Carrington, me and you have both watched a lot of football, and sometimes bad football is part of that. I probably watch more bad football than you because I watched Kansas at the college game, and they're terrible. They got interceptions by accident. Like, I saw Patrick Mahomes at Texas Tech come to Lawrence one year. He threw a pick. That was against a Kansas team where no one can name a player in that secondary. Patrick Mahomes threw a pick. You're telling me none? Zero? No, it's the interception thing. It's just, it's so bad. Especially when you consider what position did Aaron Glenn play in the NFL. He was a defensive coordinator who came over from the Lions, who played defensive back in the NFL. It's the interception thing, and I don't think it's even really close.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The Garrett Wilson thing is insane to me. Like, their leading receiver had 395 yards this season. It's just it blows my mind how bad the Jets were this season. It seems almost impossible for how bad of a team that they were this year. I mean, basically, other than Breece Hall, they didn't really do anything else this season. I mean, Breece Hall had a good year. He ran for 1,000 yards, had 4 touchdowns this season. Breece Hall put together a pretty good year. That's kind of about it with the New York Jets. The only positive thing I would say for the Jets is, A, the season's over and you can start over, and they have a lot of assets now. They traded Quinnen Williams. They traded Sauce Gardner. They're in a position that they can make some things happen.
And they have a ton of picks, which is the best way to bounce back. But man, it's not as bad as the couple winless teams we've seen, like the Browns team and the Lions team. But man, that Jets team is like historic bad. We just didn't talk about it because why would we talk about the Jets? But they are just historic bad.
It is not good. There's really no other way to put it. Rob, I know we have a lot of time to talk about this when it comes to the NFL draft. I don't want people to overthink Caleb Downs, and that's what I feel like is going to happen for the next 3 months. Like, there's going to be a lot of teams that could desperately use him as a player that are going to talk themselves out of taking a very, very productive player that could help transform their defense and can do just about everything you need. If you need a guy who's a ball-hawking safety type, if you need a guy who can kind of play that nickel corner for you, if you need a guy that can play linebacker, if you need a guy that can come off the edge, like we've seen Caleb Downs from the point he was a true freshman at Alabama be one of the best defensive players in college football in either the SEC or the Big Ten and do it in big games against big-time opponents. You are going to see over the next 3 months, you are going to see teams talk themselves out of drafting Caleb Downs. I think he's the best player in this class. I don't think he's going to be the number 1 overall pick. I don't think the Raiders are taking a safety at number 1. But if you're a team like the Giants, don't overthink this. Go get the leader of your defense for the next 10 years. Don't overthink this. Take Caleb Downs. You're going to talk yourself into taking a left tackle. No, take him would be my advice to a team like that. If you don't need a quarterback and you're picking high up, he would be near the top of my list. I think he is a phenomenal football player.
I think one of those conversations of don't overthink it might be taking place in Kansas City in about 4 months, whenever the draft is, 4.5 months. Now, mock drafts on January 7th have no weight. They have no bearing. They mean very little. He's projected to go somewhere between 8 to 13. Like, now he hasn't run a 40. He hasn't done any of the testing, but he is in the Chiefs window. So I agree with you. Don't overthink it. I think he's the biggest impact safety we've ever seen in the draft since Eric Berry. Like maybe Kyle Hamilton, but they're just different body types, all the things.
I think he's a better player than Kyle Hamilton, but I'm with you. That's probably the answer. Kyle Hamilton's
like long and rangy. Caleb Downs a little bit different, but it doesn't matter. If he's available at 9, I think the question that you just asked is going to definitely be one that happens in the Chiefs war room. Do you take Carnell Tate or Caleb Downs or David Bailey? Like, those are 3 names that could all be on the board at 9 for the Chiefs, and we will have 3-4 months to debate it. But don't overthink it. Definitely applies to one Arrowhead drive.
Yeah, and I wonder, and like we do this all the time with other positions. I think this guy can be the next. I think Caleb Downs could be Earl Thomas. I think Caleb Downs could be Cam Chancellor. I would take Cam Chancellor with the 7th overall pick. I would take Earl Thomas with the 7th overall pick if I'm a team. And have that guy and build our defense around. We have a generational player at a really, really important position that can change the course of games. That's what I'm saying. Someone is going to overthink this because that is what NFL teams do. And a lot of NFL teams, they are predictable. They're super predictable. I think the kid can play. I'm no draft punt. I'm not any of those things. I watch a lot of college football, and I've seen a lot of Caleb Downs. And if he is making the decision to go to the NFL draft, which is the absolute right, when he's going to be a first-round pick, there's nothing else for you to prove at the college level. You have proven it at the very highest level. He is somebody that would be very, very high up on my board, and I think he has a chance of being a phenomenal player. I really do. I think he's a chance of being a really, really good player.
I think he's very. Is he the best non-quarterback transfer we've seen since the portal became a thing? Like, remember, he was at Alabama.
Great question.
I mean, he was at Alabama for like 5 minutes.
We're not talking quarterbacks.
I'm going to say quarterback's different ball game, but non-quarterback.
There's probably a wide receiver we're not thinking about.
And I think it's either here, same schools, like Jameson Williams probably on this list.
Yeah, he went
Ohio State
phenomenal
to Bama,
transfer.
But like,
most of the transfers you're thinking of quarterback, like Mendoza, Burrow. Yeah, most of those guys play quarterback. Yeah, that's probably the answer.
I mean, if not that that's a metric we use to create draft picks, but that's
I honestly, can we see how Ole Miss season ends? Because the answer might be Kwan Lacey.
Yeah. I would say Downs had a bigger impact on Ohio State than Lacey had at Ole Miss, but that's a really good answer. That's probably on the short list of people.
Let's just see how. I mean, let's see how Ole Miss ends. I mean, and Lacey also said he's come back next year.
That's
so
true.
I mean, you got this year of Wade Lacey, and he got you to the Final Four.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see what happens next year. Also, I mean, if Chambliss comes back and he comes back, Ole Miss is probably what, preseason ranked top 5 team next year,
top 10 at worst. They're right in the conversation.
I know we're now talking about next college football season, but LSU travels to Ole Miss next year. To Ole Miss.
That'll be a cheap ticket. Easy get.
Might buy season tickets right now at Ole Miss to go to that one. That one's gonna be fun. You know what? That might be the biggest return since LeBron went back to Cleveland. You remember that first LeBron game in the Miami Heat going back to Cleveland? That thing, you could feel it was tense. That's how it's gonna be when Lane goes back. It's going to be just like that. Oh, it's going to be so good. Oh, it's going to be amazing. All right, we had a lot of fun today. Take care of yourself. We'll catch up with you guys